Boom! What's going on, faithfuls? What's going on? Keep the faith, never lose hope. Okay. And of course, welcome to the Faithful Empire that's powered by the Red and Gold 24/7. All right. So, if it's your first time here, go ahead and please hit the like subscribe button, turn on all notifications. All right. And of course, we are live on all major platforms: YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and Facebook. All right. And of course, I know I got some people coming with me. And of course, I'm going to do my plugs real quick, get them done over with. And of course, Mav. I'm sorry, that's not my shit. Sorry, my bad. There you go. Catch Mav on the Convo with Mav Cato. That's his Twitter handle on Tuesday nights. All right, and that's the times on YouTube and IG. All right, and of course, you catch Coach Ron on That in Our Life. That's his Twitter handle. They're the times, and on Monday nights on Spotify, YouTube, and Twitter. I still didn't change that yet, but I'm going to. Okay, so basically it'll be on YouTube also. So Spotify, YouTube, and Twitter. All right, and of course, still coming soon. BISD podcast, Drewski. He's still getting things going. He was here last Thursday show, and I get a chance to talk to him. We didn't get a chance to talk to him because he came a little late. But he's still moving. He post pictures on there. So, but what is of course there is our text messages, of course. But yeah, he posts stuff about his moving stuff. So he's still in virtual moving. So see, he said as soon as that gets done, he'll be on the go. He'll be back, and he'll be rocking rock and roll like always. So basically, I'm plugging here, guys. Of course, GM Mikey. His Twitter handle. All right. And of course, TJ. And that's his Twitter handle. All right. And of course, I'm going to do the other guys, no matter what, Faithful Empire. Nick the Kinsman, Welsh. That's his Twitter handle. He was actually on the Shank Club. That actually happened just over an hour ago, I think it ended. So, yes, Shank Club was here. So, basically, I'm going to plug out, of course, 490 Faithful UK, Paul Hope. And I'll get to him in a little bit. That way everybody knows what's been going on with him. All right. And of course, that's Twitter handle. And of course, Club 85. And of course, Denise, that's her Twitter handle. Of course, Gavin, that's his Twitter handle. Carcast, that's his Twitter handle. Yes, he does have his own show on YouTube. Go catch his Carcast. It's Carcast. Spell that Carcast on YouTube. It'll pop right into his show. All right. And of course, Sean Snoogans. I hope I got that right, man. I hope I got that right. And then you'll nail me if you come on here. But Snoogans 2434. That's his Twitter handle, all right? And of course, I'm going to plug out Ashley. I know he hasn't been here for a long time, but hoping he'll be back with Nick Kingsman Welsh. That we get things going again with him. But he's a busy man, so I understand that. It's all good. All right. So shout out to Ashley. And of course, sorry about the noise in the background. I'll move that over. And of course, he just had his show it only lasted about an hour, he said. Nick Cork, Shank Club NFL. That's the Twitter handle. They're the times and on Saturday mornings. Or did I say Saturdays? I should say. So, but he actually did one today, so yeah, you can catch on YouTube. He's a good guy, though. He is. He just has his moments. So it's all good, though. So shout out to Nick. All right. Okay. Now, I know I can get some stuff here, get some stuff going. And, of course, now I know we're going to talk about, of course, the second week into training camp. Of course, get all that hot wash out of the way. So got a person come in here with me, and of course, first comment. Oh. Okay, CarCast. I'll be on like in 15-20 minutes, my man. Just got to report some stuff on my channel. Yeah, CarCast, do your thing, man. Go ahead, don't worry about it. And of course, but I will be here, my man. I got you, CarCast, brother. I got you, man. All right. Now, coming from all the way south, from Florida. Yes, he is from Florida. I give you Sean. Hope you're ready, man. Hope you're ready.
Hey, what's up, man? No, I'm ready. Thanks for having me again. What's going on?
Good. I can't see you because you're not on video.
There we go. Is that better?
That's why I'll be asking your thumbs up like this.
Yeah, we're good, man. No, we're good.
All right, man. What's up, Sean? I knew you were here on last Thursday with Red and Gold. I know Matt brought you in, so I decided to ask him. I go, hey, how would you feel about being on the Faithful Empire? And yeah, I'd be delighted to. Okay, cool. So I'll bring in. No problem. So that's his Twitter handle. Yeah, find him. Great guy. Talk more about yourself, man. I know you're from Florida and everything, but what else you got?
Yeah, no. Like I briefly told you, yeah, was born and raised in California. That's where the things like that. But yeah, no, Florida for pretty much my whole life and things like that. And yeah, man, lifelong Niner fan. Love my Lakers as well. But yeah, I mean, can talk Niners, can talk sports really all day. Sometimes it's crazy how much I realize at the end of the day how much I talk about it throughout the day. But hey, I guess whatever, it comes with the territory. It's part of life. But yeah, no, man, like I said, I'm glad to come on here, glad to give insight. Part of this, I'm happy that you guys had me on here, and yeah, would love to see this grow and become something. This is cool.
Yeah, man, I would love to grow it like this and grow out more. I would love to. It's just the fact, more content creators do it time at time. You got to find the best one you want to follow. I understand that. I just try to do my best so I can do it, So.
Yeah, no, exactly, man. Hey, listen, the first step is getting out there, and then after that, it's just, yeah, man, finding your niche, do something maybe a little bit different, something else. But yeah, man, but the first step is just doing it. You won't know unless you do it, So,
yep. So yeah, true. Man. So true, man. So true. So I know I'm waiting for 2 more people, but they'll be in when they get in here, but it's all good. So, yeah, man. All I know is for a fact the news and rumors so far that we hit so far is that first thing I heard, of course, the offensive line. The offensive line is, I don't know if it's trash or it's baffled or what. All I know is Trent Williams, probably TW7199 is what I like to call it. He's the only one veteran on there. And are you nervous about this offensive line? How bad it's getting or what? I mean, we're a new addition, of course, Jordan Mills. But do you think he'll actually help us out though on it?
I don't really know how much we're gonna bank on Jordan Mills, to be honest. I personally think he more was signed just because like he's kind of a veteran, and I almost want to say a camp body, and I don't mean that like in a bad way. But I just think it just seems like more of like a just in case signing. But listen, I still think we are early in camp. We have to keep in mind that really, other than Trent Williams, he's the only guy on that line that was a starter that was on the line last year. Everybody else, you could say, is new. McGlinchey didn't play a lot last year, and the other 3 guys aren't starters. I've heard a little bit differently on Buford. I know some people are saying some negative things, but I've also heard some really, really good things. As far as like that he has like arguably some of the quickest feet on the line, and that he's been really good as far as like in the guard position. I still think he's going to end up being the other guard opposite Banks. Maybe I'm going to be wrong on that, but I still think that's what we're going to end up doing. It's hard for me to really have a concern, to be honest with you, to kind of wrap up the question that you asked, because I need to really see it in a game first. You can only judge so much in practice, especially when they're going up against our defensive line and our rotation. I want to see even in a couple preseason games would help. But yeah, I want to give it like another couple of weeks before I would even try to go find my panic button.
Exactly what I was thinking of too. You took the word right out of my mouth. You did.
Yeah. Not yet.
All the way from the West Coast. All right, from Phoenix, Arizona. You got me your thumbs up. That's good. That's all I wanted right there. Come on, Denise. What's going on,
Hi.
girl? What's going on,
Hey, how
girl?
you doing?
Nothing. I'm good. I had to get my grandbaby situated before I could come on.
No problem. No
I had to give
problem.
him his waffle and his blueberries and
Yeah.
One thing you know about Denise, she's a very famous person. Family. It's all about family
Yeah.
with her.
All about family.
So,
Hey, I get it. I
I'm
get
same
it.
way. I'm the same way. No matter what.
Yeah, I'm a dad. I'm a dad. I get it.
Yeah.
So basically, we just touched on news and rumors, and we're just touching on the offensive line, how bad it's getting, and
Oh God.
with Jordan
I'm
Mills,
afraid.
Jordan Mills getting signed,
I
and
know him. Is he any good?
I don't know. I really don't know if he's any good. Do you know, Sean?
I mean,
Okay.
he was. Like, obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was like a 4th or 5th round pick by the Bears. I want to say like
Oh, okay.
2013. He started though, but he started a lot of games when he. I want to say he started over 80 games in the league, and when he signed with the Bills, he was their starting right tackle for back-to-back seasons. I think it was like 17-18 or like 18-19, something like that. But I mean, he can't be awful if a team was willing to let him start for 2 years in a row.
Okay.
So
I just didn't remember hearing the name a lot. So, but I guess, maybe that's a good thing. Like if you don't hear his name, because usually you only hear his name, you only hear their name when they're bad, right? Like, oh, this
I hear
person's
you.
screwing up, this person's screwing up. I'm like, okay, well.
I hear you.
But
yeah, like I was just telling Ryan, it screams to me more of a just in case signing. Like maybe just in case Mike McGlinchey isn't all the way back, or maybe just in case somebody starts to like really not look good in camp. You know what I mean? But other than that, I wouldn't be surprised when it's all said and done if he doesn't make the 53. But let's see though. Let's see.
yeah.
Let's see.
No, I'm like you. Like some of the last couple signings, even the wide receiver we signed, I was shocked. Like when that came out that they signed a wide receiver, I was like, what?
Well,
like,
the only reason because we cut the one guy, the young kid from Pitt who went undrafted, and then the other guys in the concussion protocol because of the Fred Warner hit that started the fight, So
Dude.
it kind of makes a little sense from that standpoint because we probably do need another body in camp. But then also there's that little issue with Juan Jennings has been having a little bit of the dropsies. It was a little better. I think it was yesterday's camp. I think he only had one, but then the other like 2 or 3 passes he did catch, and one was like a key third down. But yeah, so I think combination of all 3 of those things is probably why we did it. But yeah, again, another player that I would be surprised if he did make it. He absolutely would be the last receiver on the depth chart.
Yeah, I was kind of like, wow, I was surprised by
I hear you.
Too. I was like, wow, okay, but yeah, I do have to say, I was like, what the? I honestly am like, are we? Hold on a second, my dog wants in the room.
No, you're good. You're good. I have a dog too. I get him.
It's all good. It's all good.
That's all good.
Yeah, our offensive line is. You can touch it when you're going to say it, Denise, but I just want to say the offensive line. I don't know if it needs ER or what. So
it's the only like position group. Excuse me. It's the only position group right now that I'm actually worried about. Like I know it's just camp and everyone says, oh, don't worry, whatever. But like it's Trey's first season. So I'm a little worried about his protection. Like especially the other thing I'm worried about. And Kyle, I love Kyle. I mean, Ryan will be the first person to tell you I am a huge Shanna stan, like huge. Like Kyle can't do any wrong in my book. I'm like, I love Kyle. Like I'm the biggest Kyle fan there is, but I'm a little nervous when Kyle gets up there and says, oh yeah, the center position, we ain't got no problems. We're fine. I'm like, Kyle, like that position is the most important position in your team. Like you've come out and said that numerous times. Like it's the most important position in your scheme, and you don't know who your center is going to be. Like that's scary. Like,
yeah.
And Brunskill has sucked. He sucked. Like he keeps missing snaps and like not snapping the ball good. I'm like, oh my god, like, ugh. Yeah,
I hear you. I don't know if Kyle is saying. I mean, listen, he's obviously not going to go up there and say it's a concern because then obviously that would get dragged and blasted
Right.
everywhere in the media. But
Right.
yeah, but
That's-
on the opposite side, I don't know if he's also going that way too, because maybe deep down he does feel that way. There's also the rumor that supposedly, like that rumor still out there that we're not entirely sure that Mac is going to stay retired. That it could be like one of those things that he maybe wanted to like not go to camp type thing, and maybe come in a couple weeks to the season if we really need him. Maybe Kyle knows that. Maybe it's like a
Really?
back pocket type
Wow.
thing. But,
I didn't hear that rumor. Wow, I didn't know that.
I mean, it's a small one that's out there. It's not a definitive thing. It's like one of those things that I don't think that I think the door is only like 95% closed on Mac. That's all I'm saying. I think if it really came down to it and it was a desperate situation, I could see him coming back, like around week 5, 6, or 7 if it was really that bad. But we'll see though. We'll see. I'm surprised we haven't heard much about the West kid, the kid who went undrafted. I loved him coming out of Arizona State, and I love that we signed him, but he's had a really quiet camp. So him going undrafted, I guess, kind of starting to make sense, I guess, now. So I thought he might be a sneaky signing.
The reason, I guess, from what I hear, with Donovan West, I guess the reason he went on, I didn't realize this, by the way, I just learned this. I learn something new in football every week, I tell you. I guess, I learned that the center position, they like you like super wide. Like, you ever notice like all the centers are real thick and like wide? Well, I guess one of the reasons Donovan West slid and didn't get signed is because he's real small. Like, he's small. He's shorter and smaller. Yeah. Like, he's not as wide. And I think that's why he went undrafted. I didn't realize that, but...
Yeah,
he is. One second, guys. For the red and gold, Money Mav. Uh-oh. I know your picture's on there, Mav. We don't see you. Are you there? Can you hear us? Uh-oh. Tough with these. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, I'm a little choppy right now, though.
What's up, Money Mav?
Mav, I'm gonna send you some money so you can get a better internet service.
What's up?
Yeah, his internet's very choppy, really choppy.
We need to get a GoFundMe account for Mav to get better internet service. Just kidding, Mav. Just kidding.
Can you hear us, bud?
He's like, shut up, Denise.
No, you absolutely right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's right behind. That's what it is. Try a hit. He's on delay. Damn, man. That internet does not like you. It does not like you at all.
Where are you at, Mav? Where's your location?
He's in Florida. Where Sean's at.
Okay. I don't know if what I said about Donovan West is true, but that's what I heard.
No, like I was going to say, no. You're not wrong, which is why some people had high hopes for him in like a scheme like Niners, because he is a little bit smaller. He's like really quick. One of the reasons that I was kind of hoping sneakily that, maybe he could be like a backup or things like that, but maybe the small size is just, it's becoming too much, because he's had not a bad camp. He just had a really quiet camp to where like he's probably not gonna, make the 53 type thing.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think it's gonna end up being Brendel and Brunskill, and we're gonna roll with that. And unless it gets really bad, then that's when we'll flirt with a free agent, or maybe, like I said, maybe try to entice Mac to come back. But I think they're gonna go with Brendel. I really do.
Does anyone know why JC Treader is like still unsigned?
It's a health thing.
Is it?
He kind of has the same thing that McGlinchey had last year with like the muscle thing, but it hasn't happened yet. But apparently like his left leg is like not well. It's like a health thing. That's why he didn't practice. He didn't practice at all last year. He would just show up on Friday, get the idea of what the game script's going to be, and then he would just go to the game on Sunday. He didn't practice Monday through Thursday all of last year because of that. So okay, it's kind of like quote unquote, like it's kind of like a ticking time bomb. Like at any point in time, somebody's afraid his leg's just going to go. That's the reason.
Yeah.
That's
okay. I take back every tweet I ever said about bringing him on. Then I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
No, people, it's not. It's something to be sorry. Yeah, that's all it is. he's got all this. It's just a health thing. And then the other kind of big name is his name was like whispered in the wind, but I don't necessarily know if he's a huge giant scheme fit. And I feel like I really like him a lot because we could get him for like the minimum. We would have already done it. So there's a reason why we haven't tried it yet. So that's why I think we're gonna roll with Brendel, and I think we're gonna see how it works. Yeah. I don't know.
Hey, Money Man, you still there?
Unless we can somehow trade Jimmy G for a center. There we go.
Right?
Yeah.
Now there would be an option.
Yeah.
It's not out of the possibility. I want us to trade for Kareem Hunt now. Now I'm really, not to sound awful, but now I'm really hoping for a longer Watson suspension because I want the Browns to trade Jimmy there, and it's a pipe dream. And then I want us to say, yeah, we'll just take Kareem Hunt, and that's it.
Yeah, we're just touching up on the offensive line. So, what are your thoughts on the offensive line there, Mav? Yeah. Let me get this.
Let me come back to you on this. Let me get this internet
I got
fixed real quick.
I got you,
Just
but
a
I got
little
you, bro.
chopper.
Go ahead, man. Do your thing, man. Do your thing, man. Go ahead. You're good. I got you.
Did you guys
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that.
have you guys seen the this is killing me. I just have a quick question. So what do you guys think and I'm sorry, Ryan, I just wanted to know your guys' thoughts on this. What do you guys think about Jimmy G like throwing like when the mainstay media is not there? Just not just our media, but I'm talking about like, you know, Mooch, NFL Network, like all them. What do you guys think about that? Like, do you think he's trying to upstage Trey, or do you think his rep is telling him you need to get out there and throw when the mainstay media is there because we need to try to show other teams that you're, you know, ready to go? What do you think?
I would say it's 1,000% the latter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's all that. I think he has to be out there. He's just showing that he can practice, keep his body fresh. Show that he's in good spirits, that he's handling this quote unquote as a professional. You know, he's not causing a problem. He can still go practice away from the team and still get cheered on by some of the fans. Look, he's a good guy. He's loved. See, you don't want this on your team? Yes, you do.
That's what I think too. Because a lot of people were saying
reason.
they think he's trying to upstage Trey. I don't think he is, and I was just wondering what you guys thought.
Nah. Him and Trey, for as good as a relationship they could have, they had it last year, you know. And the one thing that why I think it's that way, because Kyle and John made it very clear going basically into the draft last year that this is what we're doing. We're picking this guy, and this is where we're going to be starting as of like next year, meaning like this year. So, you know, everybody handled it well, you know. So I think that has a lot to do with it too. And I just think the fact that there's no something like that, it's all for that. They just need to show he's good, he's ready to go, and that, you know, he's in good spirits. He's not gonna like bring over any drama or baggage or anything like that. You know what I mean? So, but I do feel for him. It's got to be a little awkward. You know, it's got to be a little bit like you literally can't practice with the team. They're like right on the other side, like doing drills and stuff, and you're just all by yourself. You know, so yeah, that's why I always say the sooner the better. But I just think we're waiting because look at all these things that keep on happening. Now Kareem Hunt wants to be traded, and now this and that. You know, it's like we don't know really what's going on with Watson yet. It's like I think we're just trying to, because we have 22 days. We got until the 29th. So, you know.
Yeah. What do you think, Ryan?
Well, before I get to that, from hour and a half away from me, Carcast.
Hey, yo, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Yeah, I noticed. I just got a notification that you just did a 5-minute thing for your channel, so I saw that.
Yeah, I just
pretty cool, man.
I just got on here, talk some Niners.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Yeah, me for. I know we were just talking about the offensive line, or what was it again? I'm sorry, threw me off a little bit.
No, I'm sorry. I asked a quick question, like what you thought about, you know, Jimmy being out there like throwing and stuff when like more than our media's out there. Like, You know what I mean? Because it's not just our media. Like the days he was throwing, it was like NFL Network was there, like, the big time media was there. So I was like, did you think because a lot of people thought he was doing it to upstage Trey, or did you think he was doing it like at the hest of his representation, saying like, you need to get out there and like show people like you're there, you're working,
Yeah,
you're able
I know
to
exactly where you're
throw.
going with that now.
Yeah, I don't. I
Okay.
think it's. I don't think he's doing it in a way to up Trey. In my opinion, I think Trey's gonna be the starter. I don't think it's gonna be that way.
No, I don't
That's
think no,
Jimmy
Jimmy.
shit. Jimmy G shit again. I swear I hate this Jimmy shit. I can't wait till it's done with him. I cannot wait we're done with him.
No. I just wondered what you thought about him.
I know.
What
I understand.
I was just curious. Like,
Yeah. I don't think he's there to show off. I think he's just trying to
Yeah.
show everybody that he's still active and
Yeah,
you know
he's trying to let
teams are
people
looking at
know.
him. Yeah,
Yeah.
let people know that he's still active. I'm good now. Give me an offer. Give the 49ers an offer.
Yeah.
Do it that way. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
that's the only reason I asked the question was not to start a big Jimmy debate. I was because I was on Twitter and people were like, "Oh, he's trying to upstage Trey," and I'm like, I don't honestly think that's what it is. I think he's there just to like, hey, look at me. I can throw now. Like, come give me an offer. Like, come trade for me. Like, I'm able to throw.
Yeah.
And like he said, I appreciate the fact he said that because I think it's true too. He's like, look at this awkward situation I'm in. Like, bring me to your team. I'm not going to create havoc. I'm not going to be a problem. Like, don't you want me on your team? Like, I'm a good guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing
Yeah.
too.
And I saw a video of Jimmy G practicing on the sidelines, showing off his arm. And I saw videos of him like, oh my God, look at Jimmy's arm. He's showing it off. Like, he's throwing an 8-yard pass, bro. Like, relax. Like, I don't get it. Like, I get it. Okay, he's recovering from his injury. Well, I hope it's going well for Jimmy. I hope his, shoulder surgery is coming along. But, like, come on now. Like, we all know who Jimmy G is this time.
We should all be used to that 8-yard throws. We should be used to that
Yeah.
already.
And they're like, oh, look at this. Jimmy G showing off his. It's an 8-yard pass. It's Nick Mullins can throw that. I swear.
You know what? All I got to say is I don't know about the rest of you, but that is one thing I am so excited about. Like, I am so excited to see the deep ball back in our offense. Like, I cannot wait to see that. Did you see yesterday's practice? Did you see that clip of I want to say it's David Lombardi, but I honestly could be wrong. Someone put out that they broke down the play, like it was 1:15 left in the progression of like what Shanahan had done, and Trey made the touchdown, but it was like a 15-yard completion, and then it was like another, like one of them was like an 80-yard, like one of them was like an 80-yard throw, or like it was like a long throw, whatever that he done, and he had like got it all done in like 1:15. I'm like, that right there is what we have been missing. That's what we've been missing.
Nah, brain fart. I knew I was going to say to you guys. Okay, here you go. Here's a question for you guys. No, this is a good question for you guys. I was thinking about it as you guys were talking. The car cats were talking. I was thinking about it. That's a good one. If we expect him to get released or traded, when will it be? What day and what date? Just put that out there.
My guess is right before we announce the 53-man roster. Okay. I think he gets cut right before then.
I think that's the most reasonable time.
If he is not traded before the 53-man roster, I think he gets cut right before the 53-man roster. That's what I think.
August. Yeah, that's August 29th. We have 22 days.
I didn't know when that date was. That's why I was like, I'm not sure about the date, but that's the day I think it's happening.
Because by August 30th you have to submit your 53. So we have until August 29th midnight.
Okay, so August 29th is my guess.
Yep.
Okay, so we all agree before the roster cuts, or before the 53-man roster. 53-man roster gets down to that. Okay.
Right, he's either traded or released by then. That's what I think.
Yep.
What do you think? What do you think we get out of it? Out of him getting done?
If he gets traded, if he gets traded, I do think we get at least a pick or a player. Like he was saying, if he goes to Cleveland, I mean, think about that. Like, not that, I mean, technically we don't need another running back. Like, if we want to be honest, we don't need that. But like, if Kareem Hunt's making life miserable for Cleveland, like I could see them being like, well, okay, we're not going to give you a pick, but we'll swap you Kareem Hunt for Jimmy Garoppolo straight up. Like, we'll just,
I'll be fine with that. I don't know how much depth we have. I love Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying though, I could see that happening. Or if it is a trade with, like, let's say it's the New York Giants, like, is there a player on the Giants that would suit us that we'd be like, okay, that's what I'm thinking. It's either going to be a player for a player, or it's going to be like a lower pick, like a 4th or a 5th.
Yeah, at this point, give me anything for Jimmy G, man. Like, come on.
Denise, you got to be cracking up on that one. He did. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Way too long.
A trade for Kareem Hunt for Jimmy G? They won't take that for Jimmy G for Kareem Hunt. I'm sorry. He probably won't do that.
They were stupid enough, maybe.
But they might if they're desperate. Like, if
they
traded desperate, yes, I agree with that. If they're desperate, yeah, if they're desperate enough, I know. Yes,
if Kareem Hunt, if Watson gets suspended for a year, they might be desperate enough to be like, you know what, let's just do it.
Oh yeah.
I got you. And what do you think, Sean? What do you think, bud?
Why would you guys want another injury-prone running back?
Thank you, Mav. Thank you.
No, that's what I said originally, but they laughed at me. They're like, "Oh, why wouldn't you want Kareem Hunt?"
All right, hold on. So let's just say realistically that trade happened. Okay, Kareem Hunt would be coming in to not be the starter, so his injury-prone tag, a little bit, I wouldn't stress on it so much. And I hear you guys. We have running backs. And a running back is never a concern. It should never be a concern. We made a 6th-round pick, almost 1,000-yard rusher last year. I get it. But you could make a very small argument. You could at least bring it to the table and like quietly kind of shuffle it on there, maybe walk away. We don't have a true, really good, solid backup running back. We don't. We're hoping Price is good. We already saw with Sermon, even though he's had a really good camp, which is actually quietly going down. Nobody's talking a lot about Sermon, which is kind of weird.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I hear what you guys are saying. We can kind of plug and play that position. But if we could switch a player that we're not going to plan on keeping for a proven backup running back, that's a win-win all day. It's a win-win all day. And we would do that trade. We literally would walk Jimmy to Cleveland if Cleveland said yes to that trade. and Kareem Hunt would go from
I'm
being
a running back. I love running backs.
Yeah, I mean now we're talking fantasy. Kareem Hunt would go
I love running backs.
Try to get him. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. So that would be but again, I hear you. It would be tough for us to make that trade unless Watson gets suspended for a year, and the Cleveland Browns would have to see Jacoby Brissett go out there and really stink it up. Because for whatever reason, they're quote unquote, they believe in Brissett, which I don't see how that's possible. But hey, stranger things have happened in this world.
Yeah. Now, would you guys take?
I mean, honestly, I'd rather trade Jimmy for a defensive player.
A defensive player.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
They've got some good defense.
I asked that question, like, if he gets traded to the Giants, who do you like on the Giants that you think they'd be willing to get rid of?
Yeah, that's tough.
Giants.
That's tough. I mean,
Giants.
can I even name 5-star players on Giants? I mean,
star players?
No, I know they've got some players. I know they've got some players, but like they're not going to trade away their cornerstone players. The Giants are already in a hole.
But let's be honest, Jimmy's not a cornerstone player, so I'm not saying a cornerstone player for a cornerstone player. I'm saying, who do you think they would be willing to give up for Jimmy? Jimmy G is not a cornerstone player. So, of course, they're not going to give you their top defensive player for Jimmy G. Let's call a spade a spade.
Okay. Let me put it in
I
chat
don't know
real
their.
quick. Let me put it into
Okay,
that
sorry.
real quick. I'm sorry, it's okay. I just want to put this out there. Would you take a man-to-man thing, or just trade up, or not trade up a pick, just a regular pick for him and get rid of him, just for a pick, not a man-to-man kind of thing.
Either or.
Yeah, that's what I'd be satisfied too with. Just a pick, a 7th round, 6th round pick. I don't care. Want something.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go for a pick if he does go to the Giants. I don't think he's gonna go for an actual player.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because who's out there right now who's actually overall good enough to be traded with Jimmy G?
I will say this, though. I will say this in defense of Jimmy G. Right now, if you're looking for someone to come in and be your starting quarterback, Jimmy G is the best one left as far as like coming in to help your franchise. Like, there's no one else. Like, even on other people's practice squads, like Jimmy G is definitely the best one that's left. That like someone would be like, okay, who can we come in? Who can we get in here to come in and start for our team?
Yeah,
Jimmy G is definitely the best one out there.
yeah. With the Giant, yeah, that's true.
Even on the people's practice squads. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, is Jimmy G like, oh my God, he's so good. Like, we never should let him go. Absolutely not. That's just ridiculous talk. But I mean, yeah, like some of the other players that people have, like he needs to, like, I mean, again, we'll see. It'll, like I said, he'll either get traded right before the 53 or he'll get released. One of the two.
Panama. What's up, Panama Queen?
Panama Queen. She's the queen. She's the queen.
What's
She's
up,
the
Queen?
She's the queen.
Send interceptions G to the Giants because Danny Dimes ain't getting it done. That was going.
I'll agree, Panama. That's what I said. The Giants. I think they're definitely in the mix because they are not sold on
What about
Danny
that, guys? What about that, guys? Trade for Jimmy for Barkley.
I don't think they're gonna keep Barkley up. I know he's injury prone, but I don't think so. Honestly, I just don't see the Giants giving up.
What do you think, Sean?
They won't. No, they wouldn't. I don't.
I know the whole Barkley situation, injury prone, hasn't been consistent for a couple of years now. Was good in his rookie year, almost 1,000-yard rush. Like he performed well in his rookie year, and after that, just couldn't stay consistent, couldn't stay on the football field. It's more of a plug and play guy. Like they've got people like Wayne Gallman to step in for him, and players like he just hasn't been consistent.
Do the Giants have a good backup center?
It's Max Garcia. He went to Florida.
Oh,
I'll take him.
Like Wayne Gallman to step in for him.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
Just out of blue, few players that you think that will actually get traded with Jimmy G right now. Who you think would be good enough? Out of the blue, at least 3 players.
Like just from random teams?
Yeah, random teams. Yeah, random teams. That's what I meant. Sorry, my bad.
That's tough, man, because
I know.
It's and not because, but it's because you'd have to find a team. You'd have to think of the teams that are be like realistically willing to trade for him, and then like think kind of like what they have, maybe like an abundance of, or maybe a player that hasn't really worked out for them. Maybe he could work out someplace else. That's why that's like tough. It's like I look at the Giants and I'm thinking their depth, and I don't know, other than maybe like in their secondary and some of their defensive linemen, I don't think they have like a lot of depth at other positions. I mean, I'm sure we would have interest in like, a Kadarius Toney, but they wouldn't trade him. And I mean, who else we want from them? I look if I was a Lion,
how about sending Jimmy?
I mean, you could get him for Xavier McKinney, even though I just don't see the Giants, but that's one player that pops in my head.
I don't think there's a team in the NFL that would trade a starting player for Jimmy Garoppolo. Unless it's a player like Kareem Hunt. And I'm not saying to do that, unless it's the player that has a trade request out there and they don't want to play for your team. But past that, I don't think there's a starter that a team would trade for Jimmy G. It's hurt, but look at all the scenarios we have to come up with. So that should tell you that there's not a starter player out there that a team would trade Jimmy Garoppolo for. There's not.
Yeah, Mav. You want to say something, bud?
Cleveland Browns. How about David Njoku?
I was thinking of that, but I mean,
Yeah, but then didn't they just give him an extension?
I don't think so.
I
Did
could
they?
be wrong. I thought they
Did
did.
they?
I thought
I don't think-
they did. I could be wrong. I'm gonna look. I thought they did. That's why I didn't bring him up.
I like Njoku, man. Like,
I mean, shoot, Kittle's back up.
Yeah, because
I would be fine with that. He could block. He could make chop blocks on the edge. I mean, a really good receiving tight end. I think more of the underrated tight ends in the NFL. But I mean, I'll take him for.
Just think about it for a second. Kittle, Croft, and Joku all on the same team.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, he agreed to a 4-year, $56 million extension.
Okay. Well, I mean, who did they have as their back? Austin Hooper? I don't know. I mean, he's been okay.
Kyle's a big Austin Hooper guy. We tried to sign that guy 3 times. We tried to sign Austin Hooper 3 times.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
I mean, the connection
Austin
in Atlanta.
Hooper,
I mean,
yeah,
I know
Austin
that.
Hooper is definitely Austin Hooper is definitely one of those guys that it just you got Kyle in a room, say, hey, list your 50 favorite players in the NFL. I bet you Austin Hooper's on that list.
yeah. I mean, that could be a player that he goes for. I mean, I could see that being a reasonable trade.
That would be a possibility. See, now you're in the realm of who, like a player like that.
And
like I kind of wish the Dolphins were having issues with Tua because I would trade Jimmy G to Miami and take Gesicki because Gesicki doesn't fit in well with them, but he would be a perfect backup for us because he wouldn't be a great blocking tight end for us, which is why he's not working for them. But he would be a perfect backup to Kittle. Just send him deep all the freaking time, bro. That would be perfect. But I don't think they would trade for Jimmy.
Really
I would agree with you. I would agree with you on that. The only thing that got me turned off is the fact that we just signed Willie Snead. Because if I'm going to Miami, I'm going for Waddle and Gesicki both for Jimmy.
Wow.
Well, we would never trade Waddle. Waddle.
I don't think they're trading Waddle. No way.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know unless you open your mouth, right?
That's true. You don't know if you don't ask.
No, they won't trade Waddle.
I don't think they would, but
I mean, we never thought they would trade Parker, but they did.
Oh, no.
Who did they have besides Waddle there?
They
Waddle.
traded Devontae Parker 2 seasons ago. What?
Tyreek Hill. I mean, I guess,
I
but
thought Parker was going to be a Dolphin for life.
No, Jalen Waddle has more talent in his left ankle than Devontae Parker possesses.
damn.
Oh, yeah.
That's a true statement. And a Dolphins GM would tell you that behind closed doors. It's true.
he'd be like
Believe it.
he'd be like the best kept secret in the NFL.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Dolphins don't know how to keep a secret. That's why they're in so much trouble.
Hey, you can't blame them for trying, man. You can't blame them.
What a bunch of idiots. Like, I need to go around the NFL and give classes. Like, this is how you don't get caught. Like, let me school some of you homies. Like, Jesus Christ.
Because everybody tampers, it's true.
Like, what a bunch of morons. Some of the shit I read.
Tight ends that I'm looking at. All these tight ends that I'm looking at seems to have starting quarterbacks.
Yeah, but we have one now too.
Zach Ertz.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Arizona's not gonna make that push.
Well, exactly. Arizona's another team. I live in Arizona, and let me be the one to tell you, they're in the news every day for something they should not be in the news for. Everything except football.
Wow.
God.
What's the safety? Jalen from Rams.
Jalen
Ramsey?
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 Did he get extended?
I don't think so. No.
You're hurt. I've heard about him.
He had off-season surgery.
Yeah, he did have surgery. He didn't get extended though.
Yeah.
Ooh. Man.
I mean, I'm just wondering. Go ahead. Sorry.
Hold on.
No, all I was just gonna say they would not trade him to us. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I was like, wait.
Hell.
I mean, maybe if you package some players, I mean, add another player for besides Jimmy G and maybe make a package deal like that. I don't think they're straight up trading Jimmy G for Jalen Ramsey. No way.
Oh, hell no.
No,
Sean
yeah.
McVay would laugh
You could
at
add a
Kyle.
pick or something, or like add a couple of players, like starting caliber players, but no, not straight up.
Sean McVay would look at Kyle and be like, ha, ha, Kyle, you're funny.
Yeah, we wouldn't even be able to offer that. There's no way.
And you know what? By the way, speaking of that rumor to me has no weight because Sean McVay likes to throw the ball deep. Jimmy doesn't even fit their offense.
Exactly.
Like, I saw that rumor and I'm like, Jimmy G to the Rams? I'm like, I don't know what you guys are smoking over there, but that shit
just Matthews. I mean, he just took them to just like a backup maybe, but he's not gonna fit their offense. Like, I get it. They're a first team. This and that. They don't have Debo, who's just gonna catch tunnel screens and dump off passes. Like, they have Cooper Kupp and Van Jefferson. You know, they've got Allen Robinson, who are deep threats. Jimmy doesn't fit that offense.
Not at all. He doesn't even make it.
Yeah, Matt.
Does that revive Allen Robinson's career though, being with the Rams?
Everyone says it does, but
Chicago is a nightmare to go to as a team. Like Matt Nagy, no one likes Chicago. No one likes Matt Nagy as your head coach. Like, he was thrown into a dumpster fire, in my opinion. Allen Robinson was.
I mean,
he didn't get the chance. He didn't get the opportunities in Chicago.
Yeah, no, he did. And the thing that I sometimes also say about Allen Robinson is I hear what people are saying about like reviving his career or like using that term, but has he really had that bad of a career?
No.
Like, go back and kind of like go look at his numbers. You know, yeah, you obviously exclude the 1 year when he got hurt, but he's already had a couple well over 1,000-yard seasons. He's good amount of touchdowns career wise. Like, he hasn't had now, if you want to, I would say to people now, if you think Allen Robinson's going to be known more around the NFL because he's on a bigger team with a bigger quarterback, that may be the case, yes. But I just think he hasn't gotten the love because he's been a Bear and a Jaguar for his whole entire career. But if you go, like I said, if you go look at his numbers aren't too bad as far as like, you know, to think like, oh, you know, whatever. But he should have a good year there.
Production-wise, I think he's just been on a bad team, and he hasn't had the quarterback. Trubisky, like, I don't think he's had the team, the supporting cast around him to, you know.
And he still put up numbers still. Mm-hmm. Like, I think, if we're going to spin it real quick, fantasy-wise, I think people should look at it for fantasy purposes. But go on.
I'm sorry, I gotta say something about this real quick. That's funny as hell, Pamela. That's funny. If Jimmy go to the Rams, Fred Warner would lead the league in interceptions. They're
not wrong.
I like that one. That was good, Pamela.
Probably not wrong.
That is real good.
That was all.
He was going to get 4 picks a
Is
game.
she wrong, though? She's not wrong, is she?
No. Well, you know what else is funny is Fred. I love All-Pro Fred. He's one of my favorite players. But let's be honest. I'm like, yo, Fred, homie, you need to calm down. You're taking our players out in practice. Like, you're literally like killing our own players. Yeah. I'm like, Fred, I love you, but you need to chill.
I mean like Kyle said, football. That's football. You know, iron sharpens iron. Like football.
I get it.
Like Kyle said, he wants you to be a little irritated.
I've never seen Fred do that kind of thing. I thought Fred was like just that one person who just in the back is like. I never seen Fred Warner come out like that, like in practice. Like, I never seen Fred, the other side of Fred.
Honestly, I've been on both sides. Yeah, I've been on Fred's side and I've been on Ayuk's side. So I've been the one who got irritated and I've been the one doing the irritating. And like you said, Carr, it's all football, but it gets to a point to where you, as a grown man, should realize when you are irritating someone to a level to where they will blow up. You don't want that.
Yep.
Coach Ron. What's up, bud?
Yo, what's good?
What's up, man?
Ronnie, what up?
Yeah,
what up, man?
Yeah, hi, Coach Ron. they need to chill, dude. They need to chill because like I love Fred. Don't get it twisted, dude. I love Fred. Like he's the first jersey that I bought. Well, it didn't come in because they were, I don't know. It was COVID. They were having issues. But anyways, I love Fred. He's one of my favorite players.
It's on Ayuk as well. It's on Ayuk as well. It's on him too now. Don't just put it all on Fred. It's
there
on
were
Ayuk
two
too.
fights, right? The first one, it was correct. I forgot who started it.
No, the first. Okay, so the first play, they the first play, it was Fred. It was Fred and Ayuk got into it because Fred tried to intercept a ball to Ayuk, but Ayuk came down with it, whatever, and Ayuk got pissed. Fred was chirping, whatever. The second one, Ayuk was actually sticking up for a teammate. That's the player that Fred Warner can cut. Like, and Kyle said in his presser, he's like, basically without coming out and really saying it, Kyle basically said what I said. He's like, Fred needs to fucking chill. He's like, dude, like, Jesus Christ, that's our own player. Like, you're not supposed to be concussing your own teammates. Like,
no, that was
like,
yeah, like
he's like, energy, but chill, dude, chill.
That fight was messed up. Like, he just randomly ran into Marcus Johnson. Like, what are you trying to get out of that? Like,
come on,
Ron, do you want to say something, bud?
Yeah, no, actually, it was 2 fights between Fred and Brandon, and
I said it was 2.
Yeah, it was 2 fights. It was the same people, but I actually don't fault Ayuk. I get what Fred's trying to do. Like, I get where he's trying to go. He's coming from a good place, but he's trying to get the offense to like get that chip and get that dog in them. You know what I mean? But
that makes sense. Too.
I don't know. Stuff like that, though, amongst teammates, like, it causes friction. It may not become much, but I know, like, if you get into a fight, depending on how serious it is, like, you may not see that dude the same anymore. You know what I mean? As long as you're on the team, it's just like there's just tension. I don't know if that's the case, but yeah, Fred took a shot and he didn't need to. He put the guy in concussion protocol. And that's when Brandon stepped in and like tried to basically like stood up for his buddy. So I think that was the coming of Brandon Ayuk. But yeah, like I kind of agree with Denise. I get what he's trying to do, but some guys don't react to that, and then obviously it created a fight. So
yeah.
I
mean, I got what he's trying to do at first, but then he took it too far with the concussion. Like, that was messed up. Like, don't bring it on other players, man. Your own teammates, too. That's messed up.
Everybody's out there trying to compete. I get he's trying to get them.
Don't do it in that way. If you want, don't do it in that way. Try to do it in a more respectful manner. Like, you don't hurt your own teammates like that.
And just like money.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Since we're on this subject, if you was to change one thing about practice, what would it be?
That's a good one.
I haven't. Well, I'm not there, but I like to see move the ball more because it simulates a real game. Just 50 snaps from the 30-yard line. I think that's one thing I would like to see change. As far as anything else, I mean, is that what you mean?
Hold on, Ron. Hold on. No, I mean as far as like the physicality of practice, the level of the physicality.
Yeah, I knew he was going with that. Calm down the aggression part. The aggression part, calm it down a little bit. Not to be too aggression or practice. That way you don't hurt each other. Just play a regular practice. I think that's exactly what Matt was talking about with that.
I don't know. Yeah, I kind of think it all stemmed from the defense just kind of being a lot. It started off really lopsided, and Fred just basically trying to get the offense to step it up.
Because I mean, if you look around the NFL, like all these offenses, when they're in practice, they're just pretty much in like chill mode. Yeah, they go hard, but for some odd reason, I feel like the defense kicks it into game mode every practice. Yep. It's like they have no practice. It's game mode for them all the time.
It's game on every practice. They do. They're used to playing a real game. That's why, like that. Yeah.
Mav, I
The only thing they know they can. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Good, Denise.
no,
Go ahead, Denise.
no. I was gonna say I agree with you 200%, and you know why? Because it happened in the Bills practice too. I mean, shit, Josh Allen got into it with the 300-pound lineman. Like that's his lineman. Like he got into it with his with the lineman, and so like it's not just happening in 49ers practice. Like they said, even the NFL Network was talking about it. They said it happens in all practices. Like they're like, it's just, you're going at it. And they said the defenses always come in ahead of the offense. Always. Like the defense is always like better when they first start camp than the offense. And I think what Mav said is 100% correct.
Yeah. They're coming out to eat.
Yeah,
man.
that's every year though. That's every year though. It's football. Like that's what happens. Like there's fights every year.
But that's what I'm asking. No, but what I'm asking is how can you minimize the injuries due to physical contact in practice? I mean, the game is something totally different. If you just step wrong and hurt your, Achilles or something like that, that's something totally different. But I mean, as far as like the level of physicality they have in practice that can injure a player or put a player in concussion protocol before they even get to see a real game.
I honestly think it's a non-issue, to be honest with you. I mean, like the more you think about injuries, the more you're going to get injured. That's just how the way the game goes. But when it comes, like, I really don't see this as a problem, to be honest with you, to like try to change anything or even say there's an issue. I just think it was a matter of the defense kicking the offense's ass. Offense was frustrated. Brandon Ayuk stepped up for the offense, and then I think we move forward. I honestly don't see it as an issue, to be honest with you.
Hey, Sean, what do you think?
But as a coach, I'm pretty sure you will have an issue if you're standing on that sideline watching your defense taking out your main guy on offense, and now all of a sudden you hot-headed, you going off on them, you cussing them out because they took out your star player. And it's just practice.
Yeah, I think you pull Fred in and you have that conversation with them. I don't think it's anything that you got to drastically change anything of. It should happen, and I think you pull Fred aside and you're like, "Hey, man, I get you're trying to lead here, but that was definitely not the way to do it."
Yeah, Fred just took it too far. That's just me.
And I was gonna say, like, I totally understand Mav's point. Like, listen, you need to tell as a coach, you need to tell your guys, hey, this is still practice. Let's calm it down. Luckily for us, it was a receiver that will probably most likely not make the roster or definitely be on the practice squad, but I totally understand the point. But then on the other end of it too, I think once it is addressed, which it was, and I think Warner has kind of made his point because he's kind of been on Ayuk's, butt the whole training camp. And I think the point's been made. So I think we're okay. I wouldn't think it's going to be
I think Ayuk has on his head. I don't think it's happening every
Yeah.
Because if you look to make changes, then as a coach, you're basically acknowledging that your players are, they're mentally weak. What's going to happen in the season when you get to talk to Ramsey?
No, it's true. And Kyle has already, because of what happened in 2020 and a lot of those injuries, and we just are like, we're still scarred for I think for life from that whole season. He's already made changes like going into last training camp where when we tackle in practice, we don't even tackle all the way. Like we don't drag anybody down. You're not allowed to. Like that's like that was one of the first. Yeah, that was one of the first things we made changes going into last training camp. So he's already made some changes. So I wouldn't worry about it.
I think the changes have been made by the type of guys they're bringing into the locker room. They're not bringing in punks or jerks. You know what I mean? I think these guys all love the game of football, and it should just happen. Like I said, I think Fred pushed it too far, and I honestly think it's a non-issue. It's just content for content creators.
It's normal as football, but it's a big deal. But I don't think it should happen again because I think Ayuk has that in his head that Fred's trying to get to me. He's been behind my butt all training camp, like Ron said, but it's already been stated. It's already been shown by Warner. I don't think it should happen again.
I just want Ayuk to not hold a grudge because I saw Ayuk say don't try to low bro me, and Ayuk looks like the type of dude who would hold a grudge and be like, nah, F that dude, I ain't cool with him. So That's the only thing
No,
I
think
hope
they're
that, you
good.
know, it doesn't long term friction. But I think they're good. They should, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
think
want to
they're
say,
okay.
I want to say
Jimmy
thank you to
Ward
Panama.
posted a
She gave me the word, the aggressiveness. That's the word I'm looking for. Like the level of aggression we need to tone down in practice.
Yeah.
But see, Kyle, that's not the way Kyle works. He even said it in his interview. Kyle said that he wants them to bring it and push it to the utmost limit to where you're right on that line, but you don't cross it. Like you're right there. Like you're right at that line because Kyle, you know, that I'm telling you, dude, like people can call me whatever they want. I don't give a rat. Like whatever. Kyle's a G. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Like Kyle's a G. Like Kyle tells them. He like when that shit happened, he parted the Red Sea, he sat all them down and he's like, look, he's like, he made Ayuk go to one side of the field, he made Warner go to the other side, and he's like, we are teammates. He's like, I understand what you're doing. And he even told Warner, he's like, I get it. Like, I understand what's going on. He's like, but he's like, you know, like, no, this is not happening. We're teammates. He's like, you want to do that shit to other people, the, you know, other teams, that's great. But he's like, I love the effort. He's like, but we're at the end of the day, we're teammates. He's like, and he's like, this is not going to be like, this is not happening. And I think, like what Ron said, I think that's exactly what happened. I think he pulled Warner in and he said, like, look, dude, like, especially after the receiver got concussed. And and Kyle said, I love the fact that he, not Warner concussing him. He's like, I love the effort, but he's like, you took it too far. Like, and he said he loved Brandon sticking up for his teammate. Like, that's what he expects his team to do. Like, if that shit happened in a game, he expects his team to stick up for each other. Like, that's what he expects. Like, you know, you don't let someone punk your teammate and you just like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, no, he expects you to stick up for your team. So he loved what Brandon did. But like he said, and then Jimmy Ward showed a video of them in the locker room and they were talking and showing videos and whatever. So him and Fred have already squashed it. Like they got over it. So, you know, it was like Kyle said, it was extra hot that day. They had an extra long practice that day. And I think they just got under each other's skin. And then Fred took a cheap shot. That's what it boiled down to. I think Fred took a cheap shot and it fucking pissed Brandon off. Oh, sorry. Excuse my friend. Whoops.
And
Hey,
we see Fred take cheap shots before, so you know Fred
yes.
likes to stir things up.
Yep. That was the first time I cussed. How long are we in? Ooh, I'm doing better. Way better.
Yeah. Yeah, I love how the pressure was with Kyle when he said about that, and he don't want to calm down the aggression. He wants them to play like that because no matter what, you're going to play like that in we're in a NFL game. But he just don't want to get flagged, you know, or a punch or a fight. But it's going to happen no matter what.
Exactly what he said.
You know? It's going to happen.
I guess my thing.
So,
I guess my whole issue is with it. Like me being an offensive guy. If I'm at practice and the offense is just taking it easy and chilling, defense is coming out to rip our heads off every time, dude, then I'm trying to kick it into the same gear that they're in. I'm trying to kick it into the same level. I understand what's happening, but for some odd reason, all offenses, whether you come from high school, college, into the pros, when it comes to practice, you're not even out there trying to get hurt. You just out there making sure that you stay healthy, stay ready to go out there come game time while the defense is eating you up. You see what I mean? So it's like the level of aggression on either side are not the same. And that's around the league.
I think it could be said both ways though, because like you do have running backs sometimes who like it's clearly wrap up period, and they're still trying to run through your arm. That's how and that's how guys get their biceps torn. So
Well, that's
I
what
don't
I
even
mean.
know if Yeah, so like I get what you're saying as far as like how much to tone down. I mean I completely get where you're going. I don't know if it's just like a defensive side of the ball type of issue though. You know what I mean?
Pay a little more attention to it. I mean, Sean, please back me up or correct me if I'm wrong.
What's that?
As far as like the aggression level on either side, I mean, as a running back, like Ron was talking about, if the defense is coming for me, I mean, I'm trying to break through the tackle every chance I get because I'm not trying to get hurt nor trying to look like, the last man out. But the rest of the offense, like wide receivers, quarterback, they're just relaxed. If they drop a ball, they drop a ball. If they throw a pick, they throw a pick. It's like that sense of it's not there because it's not game time. But when the defense, to them, whenever they step on the field, practice or game is game time.
Matt, I think you're like taking this incident, like this Fred Warner incident, and like generalizing it. I think is what you're doing. Like to be honest,
it's not just Fred. It's been like that for years, though. I mean,
nah, it's both because like me as I think, and you were a defensive, offensive player. You were a running back, so obviously that's how you're gonna see it. I see it the other way around. Like as a defensive player, as a linebacker, in one-on-ones, on 7-on-7s, we always feel like we have a disadvantage. Like a lot of the time throughout practice, the defense feels like it's at a disadvantage. We always feel like the practices are always geared towards the offense getting the looks and them running their plays while we're out there like running dummy defense. So it goes both ways, and defensive players feel that way. Where like some teams, even on let's say like you're on an offensive driven team, defensive players feel like the offense always has the advantage. And then offensive players can obviously counter and say, well, defensive players don't know when to tone it down. I could say that for running backs too. I mean, shit, you don't know how many times we've been in walkthroughs and we got team hero superstar running backs running through wrap ups when you're clearly down. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you know what I'm talking about, bro. Like, hey man, you were down, dog. This is wrap up period. Like, chill it out. Exactly, and then it's the same thing in the trenches where like you rerun a play again. You obviously know what's going on, and then you got old linemen who will pancake you anyway and shit. So it could. I don't even think it's like a team issue. It's like a player issue.
Well, I got one thing to say. Can you imagine if we're this intense with each other? Can you imagine how the joint practices is going to be? Holy shit. I'm expecting fireworks. Fireworks, people. That's all I got.
When is the joint practice for Green Bay Packers? Is it Wednesday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, or Thursday? I know we have our first game against them on Friday.
Help me understand this. What is the purpose of joint practice? Because to me, I feel like you're giving your hand away.
Yeah,
so Matt, did you really just say that? Honey,
yeah, you
know Kyle better than that.
Yeah, you don't ever really run a lot of your scheme stuff in joint. So a lot of teams do what become more popular, because it kind of goes to what I was talking about earlier with our offensive line. A lot of times when you have a strong unit on your team, another unit may get dominated because of that over and over and over again. And you're not really seeing how that unit could do per se, maybe say against another team. It's almost kind of like, look at it as more joint practice, almost kind of like a curiosity thing. That's exactly what it is. You're curious how your team right now is going to look practice-wise, strength-wise against another team. Are we kind of practicing the same as them? Are they seeing the same things that we're seeing? Oh, look, this guy struggled. Oh, this guy struggled against Bosa, and he's struggling against the Chargers backup defensive lineman. All right, maybe he's not the guy in the offensive line. It's just, that's all it is, man. It's a curiosity thing, little game.
But man, it's a scrimmage, bro.
Yeah,
it's a scrimmage.
Well, no. Yep. The thing about it is, though, the thing about it is, okay, I don't know, when did I start seeing that? When did it come out with it? When did it start doing that?
It became a lot more popular, I would say, within the last 5 or 6 years, and there's still some teams that don't do it. The Buffalo Bills have never held a joint practice in their entire franchise history.
And see,
it's been going on for a while. It's just the off season is getting bigger and bigger every year. So now you're like seeing it.
It just depends. Yeah.
Well, I mean, why not have a joint practice with? Why not have a joint practice with someone that's not on your schedule though? That's what I'm asking. Like,
man, y'all didn't have scrimmages in high school, bro? Y'all didn't have high school like scrimmages against an opposing school? That's like the closest you can simulate a live game with an opposing player or team.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is not against the team that we're playing the next day or that week. We maybe against somebody else. We've had scrimmages before.
But sometimes it's easier for like traveling and stuff like that, you know, like, hey, that team's already going to be here for preseason, or, you know, like it's easy for the Chargers to hop on a plane and fly to Santa Clara or vice versa, you know, whereas opposed like, hey, Vikings, you want to come out to California and do a joint practice? You want to scrimmage and go fly 2,000 miles to go scrimmage? You know, not really the same. That's why.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. And there's also a lot you can take away from scrimmages. That's what, as a coach, you're practicing your play calling. You're getting different looks. I mean, there's so much to benefit from a scrimmage, and then you practice up towards that preseason game. Like, that's why they do it.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I understand what you can get out of the scrimmage. It's just I've never understood the reasoning behind scrimmaging the team that is actually on your schedule that you're playing in that week.
Like I said, I mean. Yeah, I mean, I get you. I don't expect them to enter all these different looks, you know what I mean? But I get what you're saying. I think it's still beneficial.
Well, don't worry. Aaron will just take some psychedelics and he'll be fantastic. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
I mean, it's always beneficial when you're practicing against somebody. I mean, I get that. You get to see.
What's your concern, man? I guess what's your concern? You think that they're going to give away the playbook if they? I guess I'm curious to know what your concern is with it.
I mean, not necessarily giving away the playbook, but giving a hint to what the game plan might look like.
There's no way. I mean, let's be honest. Kyle doesn't even give away stuff in press conferences. Okay.
No, it's not that. But true. But wouldn't the other team have that concern?
Well, that's what I mean. It's for the both of us. It's not just for us. I'm just speaking.
So, yeah. So it can't So it can't be. Yeah, it's not if it's a thing, then teams wouldn't do it. That's kind of like, you know what I mean. So, yeah. And to what the coach just made, Kyle's not going to show you anything in a scrimmage. You'll be lucky if Kyle calls a play that he usually calls in a game in a scrimmage.
Yeah.
All right. Now, you said the Bills have never held a joint practice in their whole existence. Why do you think that is?
I think they're the franchise. They're definitely the franchise that's out there. And I could have swore I was in a Bills space not long ago on like Twitter, and they were talking about it. So I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. But there's a couple teams that have never done one or still haven't done one yet.
The Jets had a scrimmage against themselves yesterday, I think. That was news to me.
And the Bills did that. Yeah, that's why I'm pretty sure it was the Bills space I was in, because there was a Bills fan talking about they were doing that for the first time ever in their franchise. They were having a joint, what they were called a red versus blue game, and they've never done that before. And it was basically their starting defense versus their starting offense. Like, it's very popular in college. So that's why I'm pretty sure it was a Bills fan that said that they don't even do joint practice with other teams.
So they would.
And as a coach, it gives you a look. Yeah, if I'm a coach, I'm looking at what the other team has too, in case I need like the center or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's true.
There's
that's
a lot
true.
you can do with it.
I'm so used to scrimmaging against the second unit, first versus twos, in order to help us elevate. That helps everyone elevate, and it looks like, and you actually get to see what this player would look like versus this player that you have on the team. You got two quarterbacks.
But there's nothing like seeing there's nothing like seeing the opposing jersey across from you, though, bro. Like, I get it, but I mean, you're not going to get as much value as you are from facing like the second team of another team, or even the first team.
I get you, but
compared to like facing
think
your
about
own
how
dude.
much fun. Think about how much fun it would have been, Trey versus Jimmy, all year round in training, in practice. Think about it.
This year?
Yeah, when
Like, you mean
when they
this
both
year?
was on the team. No, last year.
Oh,
Trey's running
Like
with
what?
the twos. Jimmy's running with
Mhm.
the ones. I mean, they're doing scrimmages against each other. I mean, think about how fun it would have been. How much more we would have had to talk about versus waiting for this year to really see how Trey can elevate the Niners.
Oh, I think that's going to be I think that's one of the things Kyle's looking for is it's going to be really beneficial in the scrimmage to see how Trey looks against another team, to see how he actually looks against someone other than the 49ers team. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
Nah, I mean,
The one thing I have been curious about though is how they decide what teams to practice with. Because I know they've practiced with the Broncos a few times, and then it seems like it's usually the same teams. That's what I've always been curious to find out, how they decide. Maybe front offices just have connections.
That's what I thought it was because I know John and Kyle were tight with the Broncos, so that's why I thought the Broncos were. That's why we kept practicing with them. But that is a good question. I've always been curious of that too.
I mean,
Yeah, they had one with the
Sean
Texans
said,
a few years back.
Like Sean said, though, I mean, those miles, I never really thought about the traveling with the miles and stuff like that, but it makes a lot of sense. But then when you think about it, you do have teams that are closer to you that you can practice against that are not on your schedule. I guess that's pretty much my only issue with it is the fact that you're scrimmaging against a team that you're playing the same week. It just
Here's what I'm gathering, Mav. Here's what I'm gathering from your takes today. I'm gathering that you are trying to preserve the players as much as possible to avoid any type of injury.
You're damn right. I want the season.
You want them on eggshells, but that's
team.
Yeah. Right. That's the whole purpose of it, is to put them through the ringer, because the season is freaking. You know what I mean? Like, these guys can't be soft, bro. Like, I get you trying to protect the players, but like that's defeats the whole purpose of being a football player. Like, these guys got to be ready. Like, they got to compete against other teams. They got to scrimmage. They got to be ready for the road. It can't be all easy.
Mav's like, can we put them all in the freezer, please? Can we cry?
Can we just store them away in a Ziploc bag till week 1 so we're good?
I mean, can we though? Can we though? Is that too much to ask?
Oh my God!
I think you're traumatized.
It doesn't work that way, bud. Unfortunately.
But seriously.
Mav, you know what they Mav. You know they always told you this, right, Mav? Like, if you play scared to get injured, you're gonna get injured. You've heard that before, right?
Yep.
You got to play balls to the walls, bro. You can't be thinking about shit like that.
Listen though, I'm not thinking about the injuries as much as you think I'm thinking about it. When I'm talking about, like I said, I feel like this here, I'm giving away the way that I'm gonna play against you this week when I'm scrimmaging against you. You see what I mean? So if I'm as a player, I mean, my coach gonna handle whatever deals he has to handle. But as a player myself, I'm like, why am I scrimmaging against a team that I'm playing this week? Okay, I'm gonna run these plays. I'm gonna do what I need to do. But at the same time, it's like the same way that I'm figuring them out, they're figuring me out too.
But Kyle does that even in preseason. Kyle, that's why everyone always laughs. Kyle keeps everything very vanilla. Like, he keeps it as vanilla gets. Like, Kyle is so anal retentive. He doesn't give anything away. Like, Kyle that's not in his nature. Like, Kyle, I mean, Jesus Christ, people were ready to hang Kyle from a noose because he wouldn't tell us who the starting quarterback was. Like, that's how, like, Kyle he doesn't give anything away. I mean, I remember when we went to the Super Bowl that year, I was laughing because someone was like, "Oh, hey Kyle, what's I think it was Good Morning America or Good Morning Football or whatever," and they asked Kyle a question about his playbook. They're like, "Oh, give us a play or whatever," and he was like, "It's ZY short, blah blah blah," and he was giving him the play, and then they're like, "Well, what does that mean?" He's like, "I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you." And I just like died laughing. That's Kyle,
and it's just not even Kyle though. That's any coach that knows anything at any level. Like the idea is to go in there with a very basic look and get a look at what your guys look like playing against a different team. So you go in there with basic looks. Like you're at a point right now in the off season where you're not installing all these packages yet. Like let's see on the defensive side of the ball, you're like, all right, guys, we're going in there and we're running basic coverage, zone coverage. We'll switch up to man, but we're not showing them anything. It's just basically to get you guys' juices flowing and see who's ready to play. And what you got.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I was going to say one other thing, but go ahead. That was rude. I'm sorry.
Got to run? Coach Ron?
But,
go ahead.
I guess I'm looking at it more like a player side than a coach side, because I don't know. It just never really made too much sense to me. I understand why it's being done. It's just the scheduling, the team that's on the schedule, that's always been like a little bother to me, because I mean, like I said, you're a running back, you out there, you getting handoffs, you taking off. Yeah, they see what you can do. So yeah, they getting ready for you. They might not be like, okay, this is the whole game plan, but at least they know how to stop the run. You see what I mean?
If they can, let me tell you something. If you as a coach, if a team can stop your run after watching you do a scrimmage and then you go into the preseason game, if they can stop your run, you have a lot more problems than having them be at your scrimmage that week. You have a lot more issues, man. Because like what you're doing during that time, during leading up to the game is like, so let's say the whole week in that scrimmage, let's say the whole entire week, their defensive line is beating our offensive line. The whole scrimmage. So now when the preseason game starts, let's say all of a sudden, what we're going to do now? We're going to take one of them out. We're going to put a different offensive lineman in. Or what we're going to do? The very first play of the game, we're going to do a play action deep shot. Because their whole scrimmage, this defense line's been beating us. So let's get them on their toes right away. You can do that stuff all day. I mean, and that's part of it. But like I go back to my original point. If you scrimmage a team throughout the week and then you go into the game and they're stopping your run because of that scrimmage throughout the week, you have bigger problems on your hands, my man. You got way bigger problems than a team being at your scrimmage for a week.
Yeah, and if you're a player who's if that's what you're thinking as a player is wondering like why we're even doing this, then you probably should be thinking about why you're even playing still.
Damn.
Just like Commander linebacker. Hey, he was a rookie.
I'm serious.
No, you're right. He literally made it through 1 week camp, and he's like, "Yep, I went undrafted, and I should have stayed undrafted." He literally made it through 1 week undrafted rookie. He said, "Peace out, Commanders."
Who was that?
Is that what he said?
He was some linebacker. I think he went to a pretty decent school too. He went undrafted. The Commander signed him. He was in camp for like a week, 10 days, and he literally retired.
Wow.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. He's like 20.
What was the reasoning?
He didn't want to play. He grew after 1 week camp and this was not anymore. So it's kind of like what Ron was just saying. Like if you can't get that side down, like the mental side, if you're like he said, we can make it not what you want to be doing, then you probably shouldn't be playing.
Hey Sean, you're really choppy, man. Just so you know, okay? You're really choppy.
Sorry.
It's okay, man. Just wanted to let you know.
I mean, I can't disagree with that.
So yeah.
Yeah, That's crazy. I can't believe someone retired after 1 week of camp. Holy crap, that's crazy.
Yeah. I don't
Wow.
remember his name, but yeah, I'm sure if you just Google like undrafted, rookie commander, I'm sure it will come up.
Talking about Barlow,
then,
or whatever his name was, the linebacker.
Yeah, I knew it was a linebacker. If you just said his name, there you go. Yeah, I know it was a
Barlow.
linebacker.
Yeah, Barlow. I remember him.
Yep.
I mean, then we had that linebacker that retired because of injuries or something like that before the season even started.
Borland.
Yeah, Borland. Thank you, Coach Ron. That's who it was.
Yeah, now Borland was a beast. He balled out, and then he quit.
Yeah,
yes, he was.
Borland was looking like the next Zach Thomas, and then he retired.
That's who it was.
Because he was the next man up after Willis, wasn't
he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. He was balling.
But that's how he was thinking about it. I think that's how he was thinking, exactly just like that, man. Like, damn, why we got to do this? You mean to tell me we got to play another team tomorrow? Like, and then he just hung it up. You can't be thinking like that name one player you were going to ask, and they're going to be like, nah, I don't want to play that other team tomorrow. I don't feel like scrimmaging. I want to play my own guys.
I mean, I don't think it works that way. Just think about what you just said, though. You think he might have been thinking the same way I was just talking. So if you can believe that, then there's probably multiple players around the league that's probably thinking that way who just haven't said nothing or haven't taken the action against it.
Yeah,
Jeremiah
Gimbo. I didn't really know him that well, so.
Does he really remind? Wow. Okay, we just talked about Borland. If that's the case, then let's take a look at him.
You know what? The thing of it is what camp is supposed to do is camp is supposed to prepare you for the season. Camp is supposed to get you ready to go against the other team. So Coach Ron is 100% correct. Like if you're literally going into camp 100% worried about getting injured and 100% concerned about going against another team, then you're in the wrong profession, because everyone knows that football is a violent sport. Everyone knows that shit's going to happen. So you can't have that on your mind. Like you can't go into a scrimmage against another team and be like, oh my God, I'm going to give all my secrets away. Like the playbook's vanilla. You're going against the other team. And the whole point of scrimmaging against someone other than your own team is to make you better. That's why they do it. It's to make you better and prepare you for the season. Like it's to make you better and to give you different defensive looks, to give you different offensive looks. So you can, so when they do the scrimmage, Kyle can come back and look at that film and go, okay, here's where we're weak. Here's, where you guys didn't do well, let's come back to camp and work on these things. This is where you guys didn't shine.
I get it. But Sean answered the question for me earlier, though. It was about the mileage, the distance of where a team would be as far as like being closer to home. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I'm really taken aback by your takes right now. As being a former player, I'm a little surprised by your thought process. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, you got to be honest with yourself, though. Being a former player, you were a former player. We've all been on that field and had some kind of worry at one point in time, at one or two games, or we've all had that. We've all been into a game with butterflies. So,
Mav, let me ask you a question. Do you have a cryogenic system in your house?
I mean, I wish I did, though. I really wish I did. But I guess the reason why I think like that is mainly because my mom, like, she really didn't want me to play football whatsoever, and I kind of forced her to come watch me play and such like that. And she was concerned about injuries, and I had to kind of break it down to her the same way. But the older I got, the more I seen the game change. It's like I felt like players have no remorse for other players. Once they on that field, that just means war, and war is war. It doesn't even matter if we're brothers. It don't matter if we're friends. I don't care where we at. Once these pads come on, you're done.
Well, that's actually
Mav, I will tell you that like when I started as a player, when I started thinking about stuff like that, I was already like later on into my career. And I was already
Well,
even just
yeah,
thinking about like how much my body can even take anymore. Like, should I even be doing this? So I get what you're saying. At a young age in high school, and Pop Warner and all that, it was like, bro, put whatever you can in
oh, you
front of me.
balling.
Let's go. At every
Yeah.
freaking chance I get, I want to play football and hit somebody. So yeah, like if you start thinking that way, then at that point you probably need to start thinking about hanging it up, and which they do.
Cause I mean,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I hung it up in semi-pro, bro, and it became apparent to me during practice. You know, and I got injured by one of the linebackers that I hung around with on a daily basis. That's what really got to me. You know, it really started making me look at the game differently and be like, man, how can you make this game a little safer? I know it's barbaric, I know it's brutal, but I mean, you got to understand, you know, when you're on that field, we are still trying to go home back to our family.
Yeah.
Injury's gonna happen regardless. I get that. You can't prevent an injury from happening, but there's some guys that are actually out there headhunting and they want to injure you.
Yeah, that I don't agree with. That
That's
Mav,
yeah.
you and I are 100% on. I don't agree with that. Like, you should never be on the field trying to hurt somebody. That's not cool. Like, that's not cool. Like, I get that injuries happen, but you should not be seeking out to hurt somebody. Like, you know, it should
Yeah,
never
and
be like, oh, I'm trying to take you out. Like, I even when we're playing somebody and another like I don't care who the team is. It could be the Rams, excuse me. It could be the Seahawks. I don't care who it is. Like when there's a player hurt on the field, like I literally am saying prayers, like, please don't let them be hurt that bad because you know what? I never want to see that. I don't wish for anybody to be hurt. Like that's not cool. Like nobody should want that.
Which is why Fred was wrong. Fred, he was in the
Yeah,
wrong. I'm sure he knows he was in the wrong. Especially your
yeah,
own teammates. Like your job is to keep your teammates on your feet. Don't let your teammates go to
yeah,
the ground. That's what your coaches teach you. Keep them up.
yeah,
I get you
yeah.
trying to be aggressive, but that incident went down exactly how it should have. Like if that was an opposing team, BA would have walked in there the same way he did, and he was right, and Kyle would have backed him up. But like I said, Fred gets a little bit excited. Maybe it's our linebackers. Our linebackers get a little too excited. Greenlaw gets a little bit excited, tends to headbutt people. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't really think it's a big issue.
No, I agree with you, Coach. I agree with you. It's Fred, and like I said, I love Fred, but I was 100%
yep.
against that. I was like, "Yo, Fred, like, what the hell? Like, you concussed your own player. Like, chill the hell out. Like, I get you're trying to like get your players better, but you ain't getting them better if you're putting them in the hospital, homie. Like, you need to chill. Like, the hell, come on, man.
Hey, Sean, what do you think about that, bud?
No, I mean, I agree with the injury stuff and things like that. Like we were kind of talking about it earlier. I don't disagree on that. But I don't stress on this so much like we talked about earlier. I think that was an incident. I think it stemmed from, like I said, Warner kind of riding Ayuk since camp started and stuff like that. So I think we're good on that front, man. I really do. Sometimes
Gotcha.
it's a good thing when that stuff happens.
Got you. I love the video. I saw the video too with Fred Warner coming out to the fans. He was going back and forth. So, who wants to get signed? Who wants to get signed? It was awesome how he did that.
Yeah,
Right
of
to the
course, man.
fans, signing RKS. That was awesome. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I really did.
And I think oh, go ahead.
Now,
Man,
if I say Ayuk look like the type of player that will start instigating too. Once everything comes down, then he'll become Fred Warner to Fred Warner. I can see that happening.
I can see that too.
Could be, man. Yeah, we're hoping for big things from Ayuk, man. So that's why that's why I think this could be a blessing in disguise. Everything that happened.
One thing I wanted to bring up, and since you were talking about Ayuk there, Sean, I loved it too. The video, I don't know who it was, but on Twitter, it was that throw shot when Trey Lance went around and threw it to Ayuk, with a beautiful catch in the end zone. How he got back up and spiked. He went with the ball. He's like, "Yeah, this is mine." Did you see that video? You see that video?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I loved that video. I loved it. I loved the
Mhm.
aggression that he brought to that catch. When he caught that
Yep.
ball, just threw it down, and yeah, I'm the man. Who you want? So I love that about Ayuk. I hope he does step up this year. I hope he does.
I think Ayuk is going to have a breakout season. I've been saying it since the off season. I've been saying it since him and Trey have literally been working out the last 2 years in the off season. They have been working out together. I think their connection is going to be off the chain this year. I think they're just going to go crazy this year.
Yeah, I do agree. You know, because he is kind of like the deep threat, and he just gets open so quickly downfield. But I think also, I think the Niners are hoping for it too and kind of pushing for it, which is why I think he's getting the camp he's having, and why I said I think the Warner thing could be blessing in disguise. Because if we can add another vertical weapon to this offense, then like it's not even just now about the quarterback. Now it's a whole different thing now, because now, you know, now when we go to a passing formation, okay, are you going to double Debo on this play? Are you going to let Ayuk go one-on-one? Are we going to double Kittle and let Debo and Ayuk go one-on-one? You know, what are you going to do? Or are we just going to cover all three of them single and take our chances, you know, and we're going to blitz heavy and hope that Trey, but now you blitz. Now what if Trey gets out of the pocket, et cetera, you see? So you start playing with fire a little bit. So I would go as far as to say if Ayuk does really have a breakout season and he's on par, and let's say he ends with like 1,000 yards or like 1,100 yards, that's probably when, unless we had another major injury, that's probably when the Niners would creep towards 12, maybe 13 wins.
All right, let me ask you this question real quick, Sean. Since we're talking about wide receivers, we just signed Willie Snead, right?
Mm-hmm.
I predicted it was going to carry 6, and I believe we all predicted it was going to carry 6. But now I'm thinking, do they still carry 6 or do they carry 7? I mean, they released Tasir Mack, didn't they?
Yeah. No, I don't think if they carry 6, I don't think it'll be more than 6, man. And personally, I don't know if we're going to carry 6. Samuel, you can bank Samuel, Ayuk, Jennings, Gray, and McLeod. That's already 5. You can guarantee those 5 are going to make it.
So what do we do?
So if we're going to carry 6, it would either be Johnson or Snead, most likely. Johnson's the one that's out with a concussion right now. That's the one that Warner hit. So that's why I'm saying I don't think it's a guarantee we're going to carry 6, man. I mean, you think
that's
we have
from
those
the Titans,
5?
ain't it?
Huh?
He's from the Titans, right?
Who? Johnson?
Yeah, Marcus Johnson. Right?
He may have been originally. Yeah, I don't think we didn't draft him. He might be originally. Yes, I know he went to Texas. I know he went to college with Texas.
Yeah,
but
I know
yes,
he's a
that's
journeyman.
what I'm saying. So if we only carry those 5, because then you think we're probably going to carry 3 tight ends, Kittle, Croft, and then probably Warner, because he should be probably hopefully healthy by then. So either Croft or Dwelly's the odd man out. Yeah, I'm not convinced we're going to carry 6, man. So I think Snead was brought in to help out while we just released a guy, while Johnson's recovering. And the only way he's the number 6 receiver on this team is if he has an outstanding camp. We have no choice but to keep him. I think that's the only way, man.
What about you, D?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I agree with the 5. I'm not sure who's going to be the 6th or if we carry 6. I think we have the 5 that are going to make it, and then it'll be a toss up. The one thing I am hoping, the one thing I am hoping is that we have oh geez, why did his name just fly out of my head? Jennings. I'm hoping Jennings is a better player, than a practice player, because right now he is not having a good camp. And at the end of the last year, he was phenomenal. So I'm just hoping that maybe he's one of those players that doesn't practice well, but when it comes game time, he falls out, because right now he's not having a good camp. But from everybody, everyone I've heard that's been at the camp says he's having a horrible camp.
Question.
He's had some drops.
Other than Ayuk and Mosley, what player do you see breaking out on both sides of the ball?
So for me, I would say a really good question. Let's go a little bit outside the box. I would say running back. Yeah, I would say running back. I'll say Trey Sermon. Because stuff that I've been sent and that I've been told, he's actually doing a lot better than we're talking about. So that's a good thing. And then on defense, and I'm only saying this because I think we need this to happen, I'm going to go Kinlaw.
Denise?
Okay, so offense, I am going to say Price as the running back because I've been hearing good things about him in camp. And then on defense, ooh, that's a tough one. Ooh, on defense, I'm going with oh my gosh, his name just flew out of my head. The guy who did the backflip in camp. I can't think of his name.
Drake Jackson.
Yes.
Drake Jackson.
Yes.
DJ.
Jackson,
DJ.
that's who I think's gonna have. That's who I think is gonna stand out. Sorry. There you go.
I'm with you on that one.
Well, I wasn't going to coach Ron next, but since he popped out, Money Mav.
I'm with Denise on defensive part. But offense though, let's just stick with the obvious, man. Trey, just to shut all the haters up.
Okay. Oh, me? Oh boy. Okay. Debo on offense. Of course, Trey on offense. Kittle. I definitely go for Kittle. Oh God. I love JJ. Love seeing JJ do it. Juwan Jennings. That's all I can think about right now for offense. Defense. My man Bosa. Of course. Bosa.
Well, you can't say Bosa. He's a standard. He's not going to break out.
Yeah, you already know who's gonna do what. We talking about players that maybe played last year, 2 years ago, who haven't really shown nothing.
I'll go for Drake Jackson then. Drake Jackson, definitely, yeah. Coach Ron?
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Trey Sermon.
Listen, I wasn't a huge fan of him coming out of Ohio State. I'm actually not a real big fan of Ohio State players, even though I do love Nick Bosa.
Neither am I.
Especially on offense, mainly more on offense, because you can really go up and down a lot of NFL drafts and throughout history and find Ohio State players from offensive side that never work out. But you know what, man? I was sent some stuff about Buford about a week and a half before it started coming out of camp. I'm being sent some stuff about Sermon that's not out yet that I guarantee you'll probably start seeing an article or two in the next couple of weeks. Oh, Trey Sermon's having a bounce back camp. There's just something about the way he's been in camp, man, that I like, and we're keeping it quiet for a reason, and it kind of gets me nervous about Jeff Wilson, to be honest.
Hey, Coach Ron, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
That question out was for everybody from Niner Faithfully. Question is, other than Ayuk Mosley, what player do you see breaking out on both sides of the ball?
On offense, let's just start with making the team first. I'm rooting for Jordan Mason. If he can make the team and make the active roster, I'm really excited about him. He can catch. He's smooth. So that's the guy I got my eyes on right now as far as the backfield. Defensive side of the ball, I got two guys that I'm really excited about because I think we're going to get a lot of three safety looks. Hufanga and Moore. I think Moore is back to his old self with his athleticism. So I'm really excited about the safety positions. I know these guys are young and don't have a lot of football games under their belt, but I think they're going to go in and we're going to be surprised. They're going to pick right back up.
Don't be surprised
Tart
we
was
play a lot
supposed
of
to leave
nickel
off.
towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, even Verrett, like a lot of people say they don't like Verrett inside because he's too fragile. He can't stick his nose in there, but I mean, he can still cover Cup in the slot if you push him inside, and then on running plays, you can get a three safety look. You can put Ufka back in there or linebacker with Moore and Ward, because I think you may see Ward covering the slot a lot this year too. So, yeah, man, safety position. Those two guys is who I think are going to have breakout seasons together.
With Verrett, just to piggyback off what you just said, he can't stick his nose in there and everything. Me personally, I'm not worried too much about it. A player catching and getting an interception. I mean, they get it and run it back. Perfect, nice. I love it. But as long as you can break up the play, stop the play from advancing. That's all that matters to me. Give us back the ball.
Yeah, right. I agree.
What matters is that they have options in the secondary this year, which is what matters to me. So they can get really creative, and they got D'Amico Ryans at coordinator, who we know is a great in-game adjuster. We're playing chess this year, boys and ladies.
Speaking of our secondary, has anyone heard, is O'Neal doing anything in camp?
Leon O'Neal?
Yeah.
That's a name I have not heard about at all.
No, but it's okay. It's not for a bad reason. No, yeah, he's okay. He's
okay. I was just curious.
Yeah. He's not having like he's not like, oh my God camp, but he's not doing like bad. Like he's fringe making the roster right now, I would say. Probably like him, Odom, obviously Hufanga Ward will probably be the safety room. High chance of that.
Because I know we had a lot
they
of
keep him on the practice squad.
Yeah, they
I know we
will.
had a lot of buzz in OTAs, so that's why I was curious. I hadn't heard anything since practice started, and I was like, did he drop off drastically or what?
No, yeah, he just, it's one of those things like what we're kind of talking about now. Our defense so far, or at least the players that we've been playing, like they've looked really good so far in camp, and I just think it's one of those things that when these players like O'Neal get in, or say like a Jordan Willis, who's like our third defensive end, behind like Hyder and some other guys. It's like, they're making plays, but, they're making that play against like Purdy or against like Sudfeld. So it's probably not going to be all the same, like, talk that we're used to hearing. You know what I mean? But he's been in there. Yeah, he's been in there.
Oh,
He's doing his thing enough.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you all agree with this lineup that Faithfully put on there? Samuel, Ayuk, Jennings, McLeod, Snead, and Gray. Malik Willis is a sleeper, in my opinion. No more than 6 wide receivers, though.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I like that.
Yep, I like that. And that's why I said I see 5 max, 6 max.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we won't. There's no way we'll carry more than 6. Not with the fact that we like usually carry 4 running backs, and we still have to consider Juszczyk is in that in that counting, and we like to keep our defensive linemen. You know how we are with that, so yeah.
I think he means Malik Turner though, right? Not Malik Willis.
Yeah, I think he meant Turner.
Turner, he's talking about Turner, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Turner.
Yeah, Malik. Yeah, he's been a sleeper. I'm hearing a lot of really good things about him at camp.
Yeah, Malik Turner's been all right. I mean, it could end up being one of those things where, like, if Malik Turner really continues to ball out and Jennings doesn't, Jennings may shockingly be the odd man out. And people aren't talking about maybe that being realistic enough. I don't think so, but but that's why I don't.
The thing about Jennings is that he's a football
player. No,
Go ahead,
I don't
I'm sorry.
think Jennings not going to make it.
No, he's a game. He's a game player. Like you can just tell. Like when the game comes on, the light comes on. So, I get it. I just don't. Yeah.
No. He has one of my favorite stats from any team last year. I think he had like 24 catches last year, and of his 24, something like 19 of them or 20 of them went for either a first down or a touchdown.
Yep.
That's a great stat, man. That's a great stat.
See, Coach, that's what
How many of them came from Trey?
That I have to go back and look. I do know that all of Debo's receiving touchdowns, all 6 were from Trey Lance. People don't talk about that enough, but it's a true stat. True stat.
That's what I was. That's what I was asking. Is Juwan Jennings one of those players that doesn't practice well, but he plays well?
He might be.
He doesn't pass the eye test. That's why he dropped.
You can see it.
Yeah, and then like when they drafted him, I remember Tennessee fans were telling us like over and over to anybody who would listen, I don't care. You guys got yourself a dog. And I'm like, you know what? They've obviously seen this kid play, so they know.
Yeah.
And then we cut him. He doesn't pass the eye test. He's slow. He was struggling with separation. But once you put this kid in the game, dude, he just becomes a football player. That's why I'm like, it's hard. It's hard to bet against him.
It's true. And like somebody just put in the comments, and it is true. He is a really good blocking wide receiver.
I agree, TL. I agree.
And if you are a good blocker as a receiver, you're already like 90% inside of like Kyle's heart. Like that, and that because if you can't block as a receiver, you won't make this roster unless you're just like the world's greatest wide receiver. Because you need to be able to block downfield. It's like part of the team. You have to be able to do it. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's in the slot. He's filthy in the block. That's a great point. Yep.
That's why.
Forgot about the blocking.
That opens up the field for Kittle a little bit more.
Oh, I hope
that opens up the field for the running game and Kittle. We're gonna have to. We will. I mean,
I hope we do, man. I
think about last year.
Kittle deserves it.
Kittle was the most expensive lineman last year, offensively.
Besides Trent Williams, but yeah,
that is so true. That is fact right there. That is fact.
We need to be able to send him out more, and hopefully we'll be able to.
It was our right tackle.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Oh yeah, no. McGlinchey needs to come back, man. It's there's a lot.
That I admit that does bother me that like we have one of the best tight ends in the business, and he spends all of our games blocking and not catching. I'm like, dude, like I get that he needs to block on some plays, but I'm like, he needs to catch passes. That's what we pay him for. Like that. I mean, I know he gets paid to block too. Don't take that the wrong way, but I'm just saying, like, yeah.
You know what? If we don't address that center position like we need to, I seriously believe that George Kittle will be another blocking tight end once again. He'll pretty much be living on the bump and run because he know Trey can get out the pocket. He don't have to stay back and block. He can easily sneak out. I mean, yeah, he's pretty much that's Trey's security blanket. The more and more I think about it, I convince myself that's what's gonna happen if we don't address that position.
Well, I mean, you can maybe quietly convince yourself because I don't think we're going to. I think we're going to roll with Brendel. Being honest with you, bro, I do. I don't.
You can quietly convince yourself, but it ain't happening.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, unless that player comes in a trade with Jimmy Garoppolo, which I mean, we'd have to really go through the teams we think are realistic and all look at their backup centers because again, I don't think a team's going to trade a starter for Jimmy. I think we're going to go with Brendel. I'm not so and I'm not so sure about with the Kittle stuff having always to back and block because of that, man. Because there's a thing that we can do with Trey that we couldn't do with Jimmy. We can move the pocket. We don't need to keep
well, that's
our
what I
pocket
was saying.
stationary. So we can. I mean, we're going to see, man. I think as a whole, I think this team's going to look a little bit different than I think we realize. And so I'm not so convinced on that yet. And I would have to think that if we had concerns 2 weeks into camp about who the center was going to be, I don't know, man. I feel like either by now I would have been sent something or I feel like something would be out there, bro. But maybe I'm wrong.
You know what? I agree with that too. I'm surprised that like with all we're hearing about run skill, like screwing up the snaps and everything, that we haven't made a move. Like I feel like if it's been as horrible as what's been reported, that we would have already made a move, but we haven't. So,
I mean, going back to that drill that you were speaking on earlier, like that minute 15 drill where Trey led the team down and hit McLeod for the touchdown and everything. During that drill and leading up to that minute 15 scenario, the offensive line didn't give up a sack. So take that for what you will. I mean, I'm not saying it has been consistent like that, but you know, and that one scenario when they needed to block, they did. So I guess we got some progress happening. And maybe that's what it could be. Yeah. You know, maybe that, and then maybe what I just said is what Kyle's seeing every day. He's like, listen, it's not getting worse. you know?
Yeah.
So maybe that's what he's hanging his hat on right now.
Don't be sorry, man. Don't be sorry, Darren Lewis. All right, don't worry about it. Okay.
Yeah, PL. Thank you so much for watching.
For all the questions, all right. Sorry for the don't apologize for all the questions, man. Don't worry about it. That's what we're here for.
I love Turi, the guy from the Colts. I was so happy we signed him. I think the starter, though, opposite Bosa, I still think it's either going to be the rookie Jackson or Ebukam. I think it's going to be one of them. But I think Turi, as long as he can stay healthy, that's kind of been a little bit of his problem. But I think Turi is going to play a lot more than people realize. Yeah, like our left end defensive end between Jackson, Ebukam, him, and then Amanu, if I'm saying his last name right, the guy we traded from the Texans last year. I love that rotation. Like, I love those four guys. But I think it's going to end up being Jackson or Ebukam.
See, and I agree, but Ebukam only because of his salary, and that's what I've told the guys this before. Like, I haven't been a big fan of Ebukam. Like, I think we should probably I would like to see him traded or get something for another player or whatnot. Which is debatable, but I think he gets to start only because he's like the highest paid, and I don't think that should be the case. I think like Turi or Drake Jackson should be in the mix. Like, I know Jackson will probably start towards like the mid season, but with Ebukam, I think that's really what it is. It's just a salary. Like, they just to me, it feels like they're just shoving him down our throats, and I don't know. It's not as good as people think.
I do agree he may not be as good as people think, and I do think it took him a little while to come on. But him and the guy we traded for from the Texans, they both actually were arguably, other than Bosa, probably our two best defensive linemen in the playoffs last year. They both actually had really good playoffs. They got a lot of pressures. We can all go back and look at any of the games. So I think that's one of the reasons why we're kind of high on them. Because I think they ended the season well, but I don't disagree completely with what you're saying. I understand your point, and I'm sure his contract and what we paid him to come over, I'm sure it plays a part into it a little bit.
Yeah, I know he was injured, so I mean, I'm gonna give him that. He was injured. He came on in the playoffs, but I don't know. I think we can do a little bit better there for what he's getting paid.
Well,
that's just.
I hear you, and I think that's one of the reasons why we took Jackson and we probably signed the guy and we signed Turi because of what you just said at the end. Because we know probably deep down we could be a little bit better there. So I hear you. I don't disagree with that.
I think Drake Jackson is going to play a lot more than people think he's going to play. I think he's going to play a lot because I think they're super high on him, and he's having a really good camp. And even when you were listening to the coaches, I don't know if you guys saw the interviews, not with Kyle and them, but like the other coaches they did the interviews with. They're really high on him. They're really high on Drake Jackson. I think he's going to play a lot this year.
Yeah, he's the only one. It didn't count as a sack, but he's the only one that's been in a drill that's been able to get past Trent Williams. So he's got that crazy bend. That's the thing. He's like extremely athletic. So
yeah, he is. Did you see that?
You saw the backflip. Yeah, so he's 6'5", and you saw that backflip. So
I wonder if John holds his breath when players do stuff like that.
I mean, I'm a fan, and I did, so I know he does. So
with pads on.
I think he holds his breath, and as soon as he sees him land, he immediately takes the shot. So yeah.
John's probably in his office going, "Oh God, no, right? Don't do a backflip. Please don't do a backflip.
Please,
no,
I don't want any rookie hype machine this morning. No."
Money Mav, what do you think about the question, bud?
I mean, it's nothing for me to really add. I mean, you guys pretty much covered the bases, really.
Gotcha. My thought on it is that I love Chris Eric. I love Chris Eric. I think he's one of our best defensive line coaches since Tom Sula. I love Tom Sula back in the old days too. I loved him. But Chris Eric, he's turning these guys to machines. And I love the pick. I wonder if it was him or it was Saleh who picked Bosa. That's what I wondered when Bosa got picked. Because I think they saw something in Bosa. I'm really glad they picked Bosa. That's why I love him so much. So I'm a big Belichick guy, and I love Chris Eric. So does anybody know on this panel? Does anybody know Chris Eric's contract extension or anything about his contract, or no?
All
No, but I know he doesn't want to do more than coach the D line for right now.
Yeah. I get that. I just want to know how long he's
he
got
loves it
until his
here.
extension.
He loves it here, and what I heard, this was a rumor, not this year, but it was a rumor last year that he loves it here and his family loves it here, so he's not planning on going anywhere. That's what I heard. This was a rumor last year that he's not planning on leaving, and he does not want to be any other coach. Like he doesn't want to be like a top of the, he doesn't want to move. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He likes it here. So I think he's going to be here for a long time. That's what I heard. But that was last year.
Yeah, I love to get a second for him done. So yeah. I'm sorry, Sean. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to echo all the same things, man. I don't think he's because he turned down some other jobs to come back and do this again. So, hard to walk away from the talent and and how much we emphasize defensive line and stuff like that. He's in a great position. I mean, he gets to coach Bosa every day.
Right.
So then we all in agreement. He's gonna retire a Niner.
I would think so, man. Yeah, I would think so. I don't think he'll. I think the only way you have to think the only way he would leave is if some team was willing to literally pay him buku bucks to be their defensive line coach. Why wouldn't we be able to match that, knowing how or if he was to become a DC? But he said it a couple of times. He doesn't want to be a DC. Not everybody wants to.
Give me two teams you would think if that was the case. Give me two teams.
Well, the first team that you have to think of right away would be the Miami Dolphins.
That was one, okay.
Yeah. If there's going to be any team that's ever going to poach any of our good coaches, then and I'm okay with the Wes Walker one, but Embry, the tight end coach, hurt a little bit. But yeah, that would be the only team that I honestly would be afraid of. I think he used to coach.
And the Jets.
Maybe the Jets.
I would say the Jets or the Packers because of the coaching tree.
So the connections. Yeah, I think he used to coach also for the Lions, and I'm pretty sure he played for the Titans. So you never know. Maybe because he used to play for them.
Rams? Could you throw the Rams in there because of McVay?
Yeah, I don't know.
You could throw anybody in there, to be honest with you. That guy's turning players around like a revolving door.
I mean, he just got Arden Key paid, and Arden Key's going to be back on the 49ers in 2 years. So
right.
So same thing with Hyder, bro. Hyder had a breakout year, went to Seattle. Seattle's like, you're not the same guy, and now look where Hyder is. Right back on.
They're gonna break him, and we're gonna fix him all over again.
Yep. And he'll come in and he'll get four or five sacks for us this year. Watch.
I could have sworn I seen Arden Key looking good over there in that Jaguars uniform.
Oh, I'm sure he. No.
Yep.
Arden Key's a good football player. We shouldn't have got him. You know what? He can end up being like our this year's Tory. The guy Turi for us. Like we shouldn't have got Key last year. We shouldn't have gotten Turi on a free agent contract the way we did. But we'll see.
I mean, it was the whole COVID year that pretty much.
I know.
Yeah,
kind of worked in our favor.
I mean, it worked in a lot of people's favor when you think about it.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Hey, it helped my Lakers. I'll take it.
They should have never won.
Hey, I heard that new tackle was it Jordan Mills? That tackle they signed looks pretty good at camp. I keep hearing.
I think he takes over.
I was gonna bring that up too about Jordan Mills.
I believe he takes over after a couple of weeks.
Yeah, because right tackle, we need to figure that out long term. Because, McGlinchey's not it.
Well, all right. Well, there's your trade guy. I'll tell you right now, if Jordan Mills beats out Mike McGlinchey, I would be so quick on the phone if I was John Lynch trading Mike McGlinchey that you wouldn't be able to get his name out my mouth so fast that you'd be traded, bro. Like there's your trade piece then. That if Jordan Mills beats Mike McGlinchey, Mike McGlinchey needs to be traded and trade him while you can.
Yeah, because before I jump on this guy's bandwagon, I want to know why he's been in the league so long and no one's been paying attention to him.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. The only thing I know about him is I'm pretty sure he was drafted by the Bears, and I know when the Bills signed him, he played back-to-back seasons as their starting right tackle. So, in my opinion, I don't think you start over 80 games at tackle in the NFL unless you're somewhat of an okay football player.
Exactly. I just want that box check. If the guy was like, nah, I want to wait for the right situation, then boom. But either way, if he's just that good, I mean, I think Kyle has a way of just getting guys to change their attitude if there is any. But I hear he looks good, so I'm happy for it because we all know that right tackle is still a little bit of a question mark.
Yeah, but if Jordan Mills is coming into camp already looking good, and that means he's going to play over McGlinchey, I'm not okay with that. Like that doesn't sit well with me. That would now be another first round pick. That's gone.
I give him 3 weeks tops, then he takes over.
So, like, we're starting to have some really bad luck on drafting offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
so was McGlinchey more of a product of being next to Nelson? Is that what happened? I mean, we can always obviously sit here and play Monday morning quarterback with these draft picks, but I mean, has he been that bad?
No, that's why I don't think Willis would start over him. Like, I'm glad Willis having a good camp, and maybe that's going to give us a really solid backup tackle for Williams or him. But I would be shocked if Trent Williams and McGlinchey aren't the two tackles week one.
You know what?
That's a good lineup.
Yeah.
Everybody hates on Mike McGlinchey. I don't think Mike McGlinchey's that bad. Mike McGlinchey, I will agree, he is not that great in pass blocking. He's a great run blocker. But Mike McGlinchey, I think his pass blocking the one year was so horrible because he lost so much weight. Like, so
put
skinny.
On too much too.
Like, you know, like, dude, like, you can't be like, you know, you can't be Mr. 200 and be an offensive lineman. I'm sorry. Like, you know,
no, it's true.
Like, you can't be a Slim Jim. Like, you just can't. Like, you can't be long and lanky and be an offensive lineman. You're going to get put on your ass every day. Like, you just can't.
But I think he does have one of those body types where I don't think he also can be really heavy. I think he kind of has to find that happy medium because that's the other issue too. So he was heavy, and that's also what hurt him.
But see, Joe Staley said, like, and this was a while back, but Joe Staley had came out and said that there is a happy medium. Like, you've got to have that happy medium where you're not too heavy, but you're not too thin. Because him and Joe Staley were built kind of the same, like taller, and you know, like look at Joe Staley now compared to when he was playing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So.
No, that's like people always make fun of the guy who used to play in the Browns, who like their only good player the last like 20 years, the offensive line, Joe Thomas. Same thing. Joe Thomas was a beast, and then now he looks like he doesn't eat anymore. It's the same thing. It's true. So I hear.
I don't know. I guess the real question for me from McGlinchey would be, can he play with Trey Lance for 17 weeks?
That's a good question. That's going.
Yeah, Jimmy was a different quarterback. You know he doesn't move, so you got to pretty much stay there. You know most of the guys on your line can move with the quarterback, but can McGlinchey move with Trey for 17 weeks?
Well, it's a good question. I guess that's what practice is for, right?
Yep.
But that's an awesome question, man. But you know what's funny? That's the only person that we actually know for a fact that can do that is Trent Williams. Because to be honest with you, Trent Williams is the only offensive lineman we know is light on his feet and can move can move. Like,
and not only that, did he not play with RG3?
Thank you. That's my point. He's the only one we know for a fact can play with a quarterback like that. You could ask that question about all of our offensive line. Like, are they going to be able to move with Trey? Because none of our offensive linemen, except for Trent Williams, is used to playing with a quarterback like Trey.
Let's look at Jordan. I'm sorry. Let's look at Jordan Willis. Where's he coming from?
I think he was on the Patriots last year or a year ago. And I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah, I think it was
I think-
Patriots. I think it was
I
Patriots.
think it was.
Yeah,
I think
it was. I should know my wife's team. I should
There you
know.
go.
But
I had to put it out there. Sorry.
But has
It's
he
okay,
ever
it's okay.
played? Has he ever
She's
played with
the
any
app, she's
quarterback
your
like
wife.
Trey?
I mean, let's see. Let's go look at his career.
Well, if he
So,
was on the Patriots, Mav, that question is no.
Yeah, but I don't know how long he's been in the league. I know he's been in there for a little minute. His name is not new, is it?
he was on Dallas a couple of times, so they would have had Dak. Dak, he's not a runner, but he's definitely a mover. He's not a
That's
statue
true.
back there. He was
true.
on Baltimore. He was on Baltimore's practice squad when they would have had Lamar, so he would have been practicing with Lamar.
So he's familiar with that type of quarterback. That's a good thing.
And he signed with the Saints when they would have had the legendary player known as Taysom Hill, so he would have been around that.
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
he also had Jameis too, and Jameis could move.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a valid point. So he's got some experience with quarterbacks that move. So that's a valid point.
Sure, Jordan Mills might take over Mike Glitchy's spot. It might.
Oh man, come on, that's great, man. I hope not for McGlinchey's sake, bro. Bro, if that happens, dude, I'm telling you. But that's why I'm saying what I'm saying, bro. If that happens, bro, I would, dude. If that happens, bro, Mike McGlinchey's gonna get run out of town, bro. We already didn't pick up his 5th-year option, and now a guy we signed 2 weeks into camp's gonna take him off the starting lineup. Oh boy.
Well, check this in as a receipt. By week 3, Jordan Willis will be starting.
Ooh,
Sure.
boy.
All right. I'm gonna say
Wow. Money, Mav.
I'm gonna,
Money
yeah, I don't know about that.
prediction. Money Mavs, money predictions. Hey Mav, you need to post that on Twitter. Money Mavs, money prediction. That's a good tagline. Yeah.
Yep.
And if
say
you
Jordan-
win, Mav, you need to pay me some because I just made that up for you.
I got you, but I'm still waiting on my internet money from you too. Now. Don't think I ain't hear that. Sean knows exactly what I'm talking about when you dealing with Frontier or what's that damn Bright House, whatever the hell it's changed to now. It done changed the name so many times from Time Warner, Bright House. What was it? I can't even remember.
Here's a good question for you guys. Since we're talking about Mike Glitchy's spot and Jordan Willis taking his spot. Now, between Aaron Banks, Jake Brendel, and Spencer Burford, Burford, whatever the name is.
Buford, yeah.
Who are you more concerned about out of all 3 of these guys?
Wait, who are the names again?
Aaron Banks, Jake Brendel, and Spencer Burford. Buford. Thank you, Sean.
There you good.
Who are you more
For
concerned
me?
about? Yeah, go ahead.
For me, it's Jake Brindle because I'm most concerned about the center position.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna answer it this way because I didn't like it when we took him, and if he doesn't work out, it's going to be a bigger issue than it is, and so I'm going to say Aaron Banks. We already took a reach when we drafted him by trading up. If you go back and look at that, when I go back and look where we took Aaron Banks, I have to cover up the other players because it literally makes me sick to my stomach. And I still will never understand how we took Aaron Banks over Asante Samuel Jr. Nobody can make a case to me for that. When we traded up for Aaron Banks, I could have put money that we did it for Asante Samuel Jr. And when the person said Aaron Banks, I walked to the other room for like 5 minutes. But anyways, that's why I would pick him because if he doesn't work out, he's gonna be a bust. He's gonna be a bust. So I would say Aaron Banks.
Yeah, I was pissed at that draft, man, because I'm a diehard Seminoles fan, bro, and I'm like, come on,
still to
keep
this
the
day,
red
man.
and gold alive.
Dude, still to this day. Go back and look at that draft. Go back and look at the players taken before Banks and after Banks. And you tell me as an NFL GM that we should have taken Aaron Banks with that pick.
Dude,
that's why I pick him, because he has to work out, bro. He has to be a starter.
You gotta look at the Broncos, you gotta look at the Chargers, who else? Who else went after Banks?
Bro, Jesus went after Banks. That's how bad it was.
That was funny.
That was funny.
But nah, seriously, when I seen that, I didn't know nothing too much about Banks, but it was just like, nah.
Oh, like I knew
just
who he
can't do it.
was, and yeah, I mean, I knew he was a mauler, big kid, went to Notre Dame. Like, I'm not saying I understood why a team would want to draft him. I don't think he was a player that you trade up in the second round and go get. That's all I mean by that. Like, at least when I went to that draft, I didn't think he was. But let's see.
I agree with him 100%. When we traded up, I thought we were going after Asante Samuel Jr.
Yeah.
That's who I thought we were getting.
I thought
That's
for
who
sure it was going to be one of the young corners or like maybe a stud receiver or something that was still on the board. And I was like, Aaron Banks, guard from Notre Dame. I'm like, John.
That's what I said too. I was like, here we go. We're getting Asante Samuel Jr. That's who I thought. I literally thought that's who we were drafting. And I'll be honest, I don't watch college football, but
Right.
I knew what we needed. So I thought, I was like, okay, who's on the board? And I was like, okay, this is probably who we're going after, because especially because we moved up. So I thought, oh, if we moved up, we must be thinking someone's going to take this guy from us. And then when they said Banks, I was like, what? I'm like, okay. I guess I don't know what I'm talking about.
When I seen him come across my screen, I had to really take a deep breath and look at my TV and remember that it's a 4K TV, that I should not be throwing anything at it.
I hear you, man.
My hand was cocked back, ready to launch that remote. Then hold on a second. I can't do this. Nah, I paid too much.
We were drafting.
Mav,
so that's why.
Be nice to your TV. Be nice to your TV, Mav.
Exactly.
I am.
That's why
man.
I would pick
that's
him.
That's why I don't even watch football on the TV no more, man. I'm on the tablet. That way I can just throw that shit across the devil if I want to. But
no, I just gotta make sure I don't have anything in my hands, and then just this way I can just like walk out, because sometimes like I
just have a stuffed animal or something. At least you can throw that in it doesn't.
Mav, who did you think we were drafting?
But no, I really believe that we was going after Samuel or who's that kid for the Chargers right now? Is it Derwin? No. Is it Derwin James?
I don't think he was in. Maybe he was in that. I don't think he was in that draft though. Maybe I don't think so.
The Chargers picked up somebody as well. I can't remember who it was, but Samuel was for sure was one of my picks. But no, I do have a problem with picking certain players at a certain round. Like Drake Jackson, for example. It's a couple of instant Lynch talked about moving up. I mean, I'm glad he stayed where he was. I was still a little puzzled by, why we went after him, because I mean, first off, he wasn't even on my draft board. I didn't know too much about that kid whatsoever. But as soon as we drafted him, that's when I went and started looking. I'm like, okay, I missed him by a mile. I'm being honest. But
what happens, man?
Yeah,
bro,
but
like
I mean,
Creed,
like
we could have taken Creed Humphrey. Imagine if we had Creed Humphrey on this team right now at center. We'd have no issues whatsoever. He's literally probably the best young center in the NFL right now. And he was taken. We took Banks at 48th, and Creed Humphrey was taken at 63 in the same exact round.
You know what? Please don't remind me, because that was one pick that did piss me off, because I wanted Creed Humphreys. I wanted him really bad.
Rondale Moore was taken right after we took Aaron Banks, and I don't even like Rondale Moore because I'm not usually a big on like smaller receivers, but I would take him and his speed over
Actually,
Aaron Banks.
I thought he was going to be a Niner. I liked it, Rondale.
I was
he was the right pick.
You and I disagreed on him. I actually liked Rondale Moore. I liked him.
Yeah. I raved a lot about that kid last year, man. Then I was like, oh wow, he just didn't look right with the Cardinals. But I raved a lot about him.
Yeah,
I like Rondell more.
Yeah, there was good talent taken in that draft, the Trey Lance and Aaron Banks draft. In the second round, I'm talking. There are some good players taken in the second round. That's where the Dolphins got Javon Holland. He's really good. The Jets took more in the second round.
I think John Lynch just has this thing with Notre Dame players. Like,
yeah, same thing with like Stanford. That's why I'm convinced we took Solomon Thomas. His first year as our GM, that's why I'm convinced we took Thomas, just because he was a Stanford boy and it was his first draft and he was nervous.
I'm like, dude, like, come on, man. Like,
I hear you. Because I'm convinced that if John Lynch and Kyle could go back and do the Solomon Thomas draft again, there's like, not because of what they know, but like I just feel like if they, I don't know what, like I just don't see how you thought Solomon Thomas was the right pick at number 3 in that draft. And I'm still convinced it's because he was a Stanford boy. You know, he was nice. He interviewed well, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's why John's like, I'm going to take this, like the good, smart kid with my very first pick. I'm convinced of that.
So basically, you guys agreed on the center. I know damn well we need a new center. We need a good one, and I hope it comes. I hope it does. Aaron Banks and Buford. I can't say that name right. Sorry, Spencer. I'll call him Spencer.
Just think of the big Buford.
Yeah, exactly. Like the same, like checkers, exactly.
So I mean, I know Buford has been. Hey, I said it right. Woo! I know he's been.
Wait, hold on. Asante Samuel went before us. He went at 47.
Yeah, I know he was a pick before. No, I know, but he was a pick for a Charger. But I'm saying, if we were just going to make action the second round, why wouldn't we trade up and make action to get him? Is what I was saying. That's what I meant by that.
True.
That's what I meant. Like if we're going to go make a splash trade up, you know, like we should have been the team trading up for him, but we do trade up. Oh, but we do it for Aaron Banks. Oh, okay, cool, awesome. That's what I'm saying. That's why he was my pick, man. Because to me, he has to be the one that has to work out, or he's going to be labeled a bust, unfortunately.
I will say this: John Lynch did come out and say, and I don't know if this is true or not. He did come out and say he did not reference Banks, but he did come out and say that the player that they moved up for was gone. So I think they might have been going after Asante Samuel, and the Chargers jumped them and fucking took him before they could.
You know what? It very well could be, and that would make a little sense to me and make me feel a little bit better. And then maybe Banks was just naturally the next person on the board. But yeah, I mean, it could be. But I would love it if we would have somehow gotten him.
John Lynch did say that. He said because someone asked who they were moving up for, and he wouldn't mention names. And he said, all I'm going to say is the player that we moved up for, we weren't able to obtain.
Yeah. I mean, it could be. And I would hope so. But listen, either way, we semi-addressed it because I was happy we signed Javarius Ward, too. So that was another guy that when free agency started, he was like high on my list that I wanted us to go sign. So I was really happy we did that. So I'm okay with it. In the end, it kind of worked out because Mosley's a lot better of a football player than he gets credit for. Mosley's actually, he's good. Like I was he was our number 1 corner last year, and we were 9 minutes away from another Super Bowl appearance in 3 years. So
yeah, I like Mosley.
Oh yeah, I do too. I always have. I liked him at Tennessee, and I like him on the 49ers. He's just a good football player. He's got the length. He's got the good hips. He's just good.
Here we go. Hey, if you guys are all good, we're all good. If you guys want to go, we're all good. So, but
all right.
Yeah, I ran nothing else.
Good, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks to Money Mav for coming in, man. Thank you.
For sure.
Thanks, Money Mav. It's awesome to share a stage with you.
Of course. Thanks, Mav.
Anytime.
Thanks again, Ryan, for having me. It's nice meeting you, Denise.
No problem.
Nice meeting you too, Sean.
Awesome. Talk to you guys later.
All right, later on, Sean, bud.
Guys have a good day,
guys. Yeah, Money Mav. Yeah, bud. Okay, here we go. That was a show. So, okay. I thank you all for coming in here. Thank you very much. I know I wasn't like really ready to jump out, but there you go. I want to thank you all very much for watching the Faithful Empire that was powered by the Red and Gold 24/7. So basically, I know I didn't get no final thoughts from everybody. I'm sure we're all, ready for the third week of training camp. And, hopefully it'll be a great week of training camp. And I'm going to do my plugs real quick. Catch Mav on the Convo with Mav Keto. All right. His show's on Tuesday. All right. That's Twitter handle. There's times on YouTube and IG. I'm sure Coach Ron will be on That Night Life tomorrow night. All right. Every times on Spotify, YouTube, and Twitter. Okay. So if you want to check him out, great guy, great content. All the fellas be in there. We're all talking football like we always do. So that's how you catch us on That Night Life from Coach Ron. All right. And of course, I'm going to plug out BISD Podcast, Drewski. I know he wasn't here today. I know he's still busy moving his stuff around like I always do. But, hopefully he'll be here in a couple weeks, hopefully. So everything all sorted out, and that way he'll be all good to come in. All right. So, GM Mikey, I know he wasn't here today. I know he had other obligations to do. So it's all good. Hopefully we'll see him tomorrow night at That Night Life. All right. That's Twitter handle. Of course, TJ. Hopefully we'll see him tomorrow night also as well. And that's his Twitter handle. And of course, I want to get a shout out to the UK gentleman, Nick Kingsman Welsh. All right. That's Twitter handle. All right. And of course, 49 Faithful UK. Paul Hope. That's Twitter handle. And Club 85. And yes, I know I wasn't going to show you, and I'm going to show you right now because I know I have it on there. I'm pretty sure I do, actually. Might have to do a little fusion rating a little bit here. But I know I have it on here. If you guys give me a minute, I can set it all up. I don't think I have it on here yet. That's the problem. I didn't get a chance to do it. So, give me 1 second, and I'll share it to you guys what I'm talking about. All right. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Give me 1 second. All right. Now, there we go. All right. I got you. Here we go. All right. Now, in case you all were wondering about Paul Hope, all right. I know I was on show earlier, but I know I jumped on later than I was expected to do. So I wanted to share. I know I asked him already if it was okay if I could share it first before confirming with him to share it on the show. That way he don't get too caught up with stuff he was doing. Okay. So basically I just confirmed with him, make sure it's okay for me to post it on the show itself. That way he'll understand. All right. So I confirmed it with him, and he said, "You're good, right? You can do it." So basically, I'm gonna share everybody on here. I know everybody's off right now, and you got one watch. It's probably my wife, most likely. So here you go, and here you go. The picture of Paul Hope and his family. They are in London. They took a vacation to London. Okay. That's why I asked him first before I did these pictures, because I didn't want him to get angry at me or anything about me posting these pictures on live video. Okay. So basically I confronted him, make sure it was all good. So hopefully he'll go back and watch it, and he'll see at the end that I did this for him. So I didn't do it to get a plug. I didn't do anything like that. I did it because I love doing this. And I know I love Paul Hope. He's got a great family, and I got a great family also. So that's the reason why I wanted to do this for him. So I'm going to see the other ones I had on here. I know I have a couple more on here. Here is another one. Him and his family. Okay. And of course, him and his wife, Tracy. Very beautiful couple. And of course, the last one. And yes, she's 40 years old. It was her birthday. Congratulations, Tracy. Happy birthday to you. Okay. All right. So basically, that's what I have for you for that. So happy birthday, Tracy. Hope you see this later on, Paul. All right. All right. So that's what I wanted to do. I didn't do it earlier, but I didn't get a chance to because I was going through other stuff. So, but basically, I wanted to do it for him. So, okay. All right. Now, Paul, see you next weekend. All right, bud. Hope you come on. All right, bud. So, other one, of course, Denise. Thanks, our girl, for coming in here. All right, that's your Twitter handle. I know Gavin wanted here today, this weekend, but it's all good. Hopefully, we'll see him next weekend. See you there, Gav. All right, I'll talk to you later on, man. That's his Twitter handle. And I know Carcass, when he went out, but I guess he was doing other stuff at his house and all, but it's all good. So, and I want to thank Sean for coming in here, be a part of the Faithful Empire for doing this. So, thanks a lot, bud. Thank you, man. All right, that's his Twitter handle. And of course, I want to plug out, of course, Ashley. All right, and that's his Twitter handle. And of course, Nick Quirk. He had a show earlier before we started ours. All right, that's his Twitter handle. Times, and it's usually on Saturdays, but I guess he changed it on Sundays, so I don't know how he's doing it now. So it's all good though. All right. So basically, that's what I have for you guys, and I'm about to go get busy and go take care of my family stuff. All right. So basically, man, like this. I'll see you guys tomorrow night on That Night of Life. All right. Keep it real. Keep it chill. All right. So basically, see you tomorrow night. That Night of Life, live in color, and plus see you guys on Red and Gold 24/7 on Thursday. All right, which is 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific time, and of course it will be 3 a.m. for UK. Okay. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see you on Thursday. Later on, guys. We're out of here. Keep the faith. Never lose hope. We're out of, guys. Later.